So in terms of language, I see a drastic improvement in him. So overall, I'll say that it has been a very useful session we had because, and since it has been happening since a long time, I don't think that it can be corrected all of a sudden. Every child is unique.
इम्प्रूवमेंट्स फर्स्ट तो ये है कि अगर अभी क्या है इंटरेक्शंस होता है, फर्स्ट थिंग ये है कि सपोज पहले क्या था, कुछ रिस्पांस नहीं मिलता था, सपोज कुछ सामान लाने के लिए हम लोगों ने बोला ब्रिंग दिस, वो कुछ भी रिस्पांस नहीं देती थी। अभी थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट हो चुका 20%। सेकंड ये है कि पहले सोशल इंटरेक्शन उसका कुछ भी नहीं था, बच्चा लोग खेल रहा है इवन दो दे आर इन देयर होम, ओके, वो कुछ भी रिस्पांस नहीं करती थी। अभी थोड़ा है कि एक दो से थोड़ा सा उसका टच हुआ है, एक दो बंदे से बच्चे से उसका टच हुआ, सो यू कैन से लाइक देयर सम इम्प्रूवमेंट इन दैट सोशल इंटरेक्शन आल्सो। फॉर मिलेट्स वी स्टार्टेड लाइक 10 days 2 weeks बैक, और अभी वो लोग वो मिलेट्स एटलीस्ट डे में एक बार खाती है, बाकी टाइम तो मतलब पॉसिबल नहीं है, लेकिन हम लोग अभी उसको हैबिटेट कर रहे हैं उसके लिए।
My child was COVID infected, so थोड़ा सा मेरे को इम्पैक्ट पड़ा था for 3 weeks, but then nevertheless I should say improvement है child में. So I'm not too bothered about the speech because that is something last that will come, which I understand, and as much as we are echoing and doing mands with him, imitation practices with him, it's all improving. It's just that I see improvement in the gut balance. Earlier he was highly constipated, but now he has improved a lot. His digestion has improved, diet has improved, hyperactivity is controlled, the response has increased. So these are the various things that I have seen improvement.
Regarding the improvements in Manav's this thing, we have noticed a peculiar improvement in his eye contact, the stereotypical behavior, or you can call as hyperactivity, has been reduced to some extent.
Clapping has came down, hyperactivity has came down, and his digestion is also very good, better than before. So I would say that he is doing well.
supplement and जो डाइट दिया गया था वो फॉलो किया है 2 मंथ के लिए, अभी तो 1.5 महीना हुआ और इम्प्रूवमेंट दिख रहा है हमें। वो स्लीपिंग का उसका प्रॉब्लम बहुत पूरा सॉल्व हो गया है। थोड़ा बीच में 2-4 दिन ऐसे रात को उठ के चिल्ला रहा था, और अब ठीक है सब। बाउल मूवमेंट जो टॉयलेट का भी थोड़ा क्लियर हो गया, और अंडरस्टैंडिंग में थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है। पहले चीजें समझ नहीं रहा था, अभी समझ रहा है, थोड़ा आई कांटेक्ट हो रहा है।
देखा है कि हंसिका में बहुत सारी चीजों में इम्प्रूवमेंट्स हुई हैं, जैसे कि उसका इमिटेशन इम्प्रूव हुआ है और अंडरस्टैंडिंग इम्प्रूव हुआ है, कमांड फॉलोइंग भी मतलब पहले से काफी बेटर है, नेम रिस्पॉन्स भी अच्छा हो गया है, और सबसे बेस्ट पॉइंट मेरे लिए ये है कि इसका डाइजेशन इम्प्रूव हो गया है। जो मतलब इसको डेली बेसिस पे मुझे कॉन्स्टिपेशन का प्रॉब्लम फेस करना पड़ रहा था ना, वो चीज मेरे लिए बहुत ही एक रिलैक्स देने वाली चीज है कि मतलब बच्चे का डाइजेशन बहुत इम्प्रूव हो गया है। तो शायद में भी जैसे कि सुनील सर ने बताया कि जिससे डाइजेशन इम्प्रूव होगा तो अदर सेक्टर मतलब जो अभी अदर बच्चे का मतलब लो पॉइंट है वो इम्प्रूव हो जाएगा, तो शायद इसलिए मतलब उसका बाकी चीजों में इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है। स्पीच में भी मैं कहूंगी कि मतलब जो बिल्कुल हमेशा साइलेंट मोड पे रहती थी अब वो चीज नहीं है, मतलब कुछ मतलब मीनिंगफुल नहीं है चीजें, लेकिन कोशिश करती है कुछ बोलने के लिए। बाकी ओवरऑल मैं यही कहूंगी कि आप लोगों का जो ये सबसे बेस्ट पॉइंट था मतलब बच्चों को लेके कि जिस चीज की बच्चे में डेफिशिएंसी है या जिस भी प्रॉब्लम की वजह से बच्चा ऑटिस्टिक हो गया है या फिर एडीएचडी का प्रॉब्लम है बच्चे में जिस चीज की कमी है उसको रूल आउट किया जाए। तो ये चीज मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि मतलब क्या पे आपने हमें चीजें सजेस्ट की कि हमको ये चीज फॉलो करना चाहिए, वो चीज मुझे सबसे अच्छी लगी और उसकी वजह से मुझे मतलब बच्चे में काफी इम्प्रूवमेंट लगा है। ओवरऑल मैं यही कहूंगी आप सबको थैंक यू कि मतलब आप लोग एक तरह से हमारी लाइफ में आए हमारे बच्चे का लाइफ इम्प्रूव करने के लिए। बस चीजें आगे और अच्छी होती रहे, बस यही है। और आप लोग का एफर्ट सभी बच्चों के लिए बहुत ही फ्रूटफुल रहे। यही
he didn't take changes at all.
recently I changed his school, but he has taken it very, very beautifully. And उसका जो communication है वो भी अच्छा रहा. He has improved a lot. Even earlier he didn't like to study at all. Nowadays he is very eager to do his maths and all other things. So my experience is good.
Earlier, going into the sunlight was not there, and even if we go, probably we used to go with shoe, now we go with barefoot, so those kind of small things we did changes, for the last couple of months. There is an improvement. How much improvement? Overall aspect, I would say 20 to 30%. So that is a lot, in our country. What I know is there are therapies, occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, or you name ABA therapy. What they do is, gaadi aaye to you have to stop. That's what is trained, but like a dog is trained. But at least this innovative idea from Dr. Ashwin is laudable. And coming to, for example, my son is having a milk protein allergy. So that is, but after joining this, because of the medicine or whatever it is, his IgE was like 1150, and now it has come down to 843. There is a lot of improvement, So we have a hope. What I wanted to say is we have a hope. Other than that, there are improvements with respect to communication. For example, somebody is visible on the community. He started communicating with them, he or she. He says, "Hey, how are you?" That was something like a surprising thing for us, because he might say hi, bye, but how are you? And we started communicating. It was very tough for him to hop by himself, one leg. But one fine day, he started hopping since last week. So that is one of the things, just I want to call it out. In a nutshell, I would say thank you, Dr.
I started very late. Recently we started the supplements, but the lifestyle changes I attracted is due to the lifestyle changes like sunlight, water. Those were, now nobody will say like that, like Dr. Ashwini sir told. Those were very attracting to me. And next, take him to the rehabilitation center, sir. There were those parents were asking me, is he autistic? He is so much improved, sir. Imitation skills were improved, communication skills were improved. He's completely mute now. He's passing all.
Okay, so all of this is what we wanted to share, so that you have hope and you have a reason to be looking towards possibilities. So there are a lot of reasons to give people hope, and the reason is there is nothing magical and there is nothing non-scientific in this. So that's what I'm saying. So functional medicine is not a mumbo jumbo or a therapy of some sorts. There are institutes which teach people functional medicine. So this is where a little bit of an understanding comes towards what is yellow scotch. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ayush Gupta, and I am one of the co-founders of this young startup called Yellow Squash. So what we are trying to do is something unique and something very, very difficult. And we do face a lot of flag from people with agenda, especially from mainstream pharmaceutical firms, which is quite obvious. We are well aware of it. But what we are trying to do is we are trying to attack and we are trying to provide solutions for chronic conditions such as autism and developmental disorders through this program. There is a happy hormones program, a program wherein we deal with a lot of issues, including infertility, hormonal imbalances, diabetes. We have another one, type 1 diabetes for young children. We have yet another one. So we are trying to find solutions. We are trying to find modalities which you can trust, which you can believe in. The best experts available in the country and across, who you can work with and help them present in a manner which you can understand. There is no offline treatment available, Ms. Jyoti, and that is not required. That also we'll explain towards the end why an offline treatment will not work. There are 3 very good reasons. And your child is physically, by the way, is not required in this entire treatment. It is for you to implement for the child. So there are no physical therapies and those kind of things which are involved. So, so there are 4 things that Yellow Scotch does primarily. So one, we find modalities, and we have a 16-point check to ensure that you're working with the experts, you're working with the modalities which work for a specific situation. So functional medicine for learning disabilities or disorders is one such example. So then the next thing we do is we try and provide and package the program in such a manner so that it can be consumed offline and becomes much more powerful offline. So that is another one. Then we organize such webinars and many such things to inform people about the benefits that they can have by getting into this program and relieve themselves, not manage, but relieve themselves from these chronic conditions. And finally, once you are in the program, once you choose to be in the program, we are there to watch your back. If you have any challenges within the program, you can always reach out to us. Now, with this, this is the basis and background of us and our aim and ambition of being. So let me start the session. Whilst we are in the session, I would want you to answer to another poll, another short poll. So as you can see, most of you are having, your children are having issues with ASD, and ADHD is another one, and so on. So there is another thing which we want to understand to help you better, which is what is it that you are doing to help your child. So please make sure that all of you respond to this questionnaire. I hope everyone is able to hear me. If not, all you need to do is tap on to call this headphone icon and call over internet to hear us. Otherwise, we are also live on Facebook. So you can go join on Facebook as well. Now, when your child is into learning disabilities or disorders, there are 2 doors which are given to you. One is for medicine, and the other one is, we'll talk about this. Okay. So one is for medicine, and there is another door which is of therapies. We'll talk about both. Medicine, whether it is homeopathy, Ayurveda, allopathy, whatever it is, if it is a regimental approach, अगर वो regimental approach है कि सारे बच्चों को एक ही चीज दी जाए, it is never going to work. It has, so far there is
another zero on.
Right. So far, there is nothing which is proven with a proven track record, as one of the gentlemen wrote in the message, which is accurate. There is no standard methodology in any kind of domain or methodology to find panacea for this ailment of autism. Why? Because autism in itself is not a disease, is a combination of various factors. अलग-अलग लोगों को, अलग-अलग बच्चों को अलग-अलग चीजें होती हैं, अलग-अलग तरह से रिएक्ट करते हैं. Some are not speaking, some are speaking very well, some are having repetitive stereotypical behavior like hand flapping, others are having none of it. Some may mingle a little bit with others, some don't mingle at all, some are violent, some are not. So every child is unique. All of these categories wherein there is an anomalous behavior, there are some 12-13 categories we track. तो अगर उनमें से किसी भी चीज को अगर पाया जाता है बच्चों को, तो उनको किसी भी वेरिएशन में डाला जा सकता है. ADHD, माइल्ड ऑटिस्टिक, सीवियर ऑटिस्टिक, कुछ भी हो सकता है. एंड ऑल ऑफ दीज लेबल्स दे कीप ऑन वेरिंग ड्यूरिंग द एंटायर यंग एडल्टहुड और चाइल्डहुड और व्हाटएवर. तो वो होता है, वो चैलेंजेस आते हैं और वो चेंजेस भी आते हैं. क्यों? इसी वजह से, यही वजह है क्योंकि एक ठीक ठोस कारण नहीं है, कोई एक स्पेसिफिक चीज नहीं है, इसलिए इसकी कोई दवाई बन भी नहीं सकती. देयर इज नो एविडेंस बेसिकली. द अदर थिंग जो आपने जिन लोगों ने सुना है, लोगों के टेस्टिमोनियल्स में जो अभी शेयर किए थे, लोगों ने कहा है, सो थेरेपी जो आपको रास्ता दिखाया जाता है, वेदर इट इज ABA और स्पीच और OT और any other kind of therapy. So all of these therapies, they train and teach your child in a very robotic manner. वो इस तरह की चीजें होती हैं, बेटा यहाँ पे बैठ जाओ, खाली कुर्सी मिले तो सबको बैठ जाना है. So if there is an empty chair, every child should be sitting. So he'll see an empty chair, he'll sit there. He wouldn't think about whether he should be sitting, why the chair is empty, whether it makes sense to sit in that kind of an environment, none of that. Those mental faculties you cannot develop through therapy. You can teach and train the child like a robot or as the other gentleman said, like a dog. So you can train your child like an animal, like being in a circus or something like that. But if you want to cure certain ailments, if you want to give hope to yourself and to your child, you need to look inside the child and try and attack and understand some of the root causes why these things are happening. Now, this is where we can, if we work in a systematic manner by looking and doing many things. It's not just one thing. It's not just diet. It's not just the treatment. It's not just the environmental factors. It's not just the therapies. It's everything coming together in a certain specific standardized manner that you would be able to provide your child to become real, become self, realize his or her real potential. So that is the hope we are trying to give to you. And this program is being run by Dr. Ashwini Garg. So Dr. Ashwini Garg is a functional medicine expert. He's also an MBBS doctor. For many of you who might have this question later on, he's an educator, he's a speaker, he does many things. He speaks on many forums, works across different kinds of conditions. But one of the clear focus areas for him is child intellectual disorders. So whether it is ASD or ADHD or CP, he's working across those areas. And this is the 5th batch that we would be running. Usually we have around 30-40 people in each of those batches. And this experience that I shared with you was for batch 2. So batch 2 alone. So those are the experiences that we are having across. तो उन्हीं में से कुछ experiences आपके साथ share किए हैं. That is the work of Dr. Ashwini, and we are glad and very proud to have him here. And I would like to welcome him. And Ashwini sir, if you're there, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mayush. Thank you so much for setting the context. So I think this is good that parents should be thinking in a right direction, that their kids should be become normal, and they're born to be real, and they can achieve what they want to achieve. So I think we have to be very positive. We have to be very aggressive when we are trying to solve the problem of our kids. So we should not be thinking, oh, this is a genetic problem and all that. So just to give though Ayush has given talked about myself, so I work with all to have a healthy body, we need to have a healthy metabolism, healthy immune system, healthy digestive system. So we work with all these conditions, and these are also primarily issues with a child with some sort of a condition like autism, ADHD, and all that. So we work with these conditions, and we are able to help many of these kids. So just I think this is very important for you all of you parents. Most of the time when your kid is diagnosed with the problem, and then you are shattered, you are troubled, and you ask your doctor, what is the reason, why did my child got diagnosed with the problem? And then most of the time you are told that it is a genetic problem, and there's hardly you can do anything about it, and then all you can do is just try this therapy, that therapy, but that really never helps them. Now, to put the things into right perspective for you, today almost one child in 150 or 160 is getting diagnosed with autism, ASD, ADHD. Different names are given to the different based on the symptoms of the problem. 40 years back, there was only one child in, let's say, 2000, 3000. The prevalence of the disease is just going high and high. More and more kids are being diagnosed with the problem, but there's no evidence to say that there's a change in human genome. In last 30-40 years, there's no evidence to say that our genetic makeup has changed. So अगर अपना genetic makeup change नहीं हुआ है, तो इतना बच्चों को इतना prevalence कैसे increase कर गया? There's something more that is happening. It's not just the genetic which is a part of the problem. Of course, genetic is one small part of the issue, but it's not just the only reason. So there's something called epigenetic. There are factors which control the genes. Okay, if these factors are not healthy, gene can manifest in a wrong way. But if we have a good epigenetic factors, gene will manifest no disease. They will manifest health. And the good news, 80 to 85% of these kids who are diagnosed with these conditions, it is not just genetic, it's a epigenetic factors which has led to the problem. उनका problem 80 to 85% cases में genetic नहीं है, it's a epigenetic factors जो फैक्टर जीन्स को इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं ताकि बीमारी आ जाए. सो देयर आर गुड नंबर ऑफ चांसेस कि आपको 80 से 85% बच्चों में आपका बच्चा हेल्दी हो सकता है, नॉर्मल हो सकता है, बहुत ज्यादा इंप्रूव कर सकता है. दिस इज अ वन बिग टेक अवे. डोंट थिंक दीज आर जेनेटिक प्रॉब्लम्स. Okay, there's much more to it. So there's another takeaway that I want parents see. Mostly when you look at the child, you only worried about the brain symptoms. Okay, but this is not just a brain disorder, it is a whole body disorder. उनका stomach अच्छा नहीं है, there are toxicities, there are deficiencies, there are allergies, there are sensitivities to certain things that has led to the brain not to function well. It is not just a brain disorder, it's a whole body disorder. और जैसे जैसे आप अपनी बच्चे का बॉडी को ठीक करोगे वैसे वैसे इनका ब्रेन भी ठीक करेगा, वैसे वैसे इनका बिहेवियर ठीक होगा. So this is another takeaway that you should have is autism is just not a genetic problem or just not a brain disorder. It is a whole body disorder जिसको ठीक किया जा सकता है. So a special child faces certain things like communication problem, socializing problem, speech issues, repetitive behavior. Now these are typical things. Now along with that, you always see the gut issues are there with the child. Most of them, they have a bad gut issues. Second, they might have other conditions or allergies. Now this is not a coincidence. So actually the disease starts in the gut. The disease starts in the body, that starts affecting their brain. This is how the child will start throwing the symptoms. So you have to understand this is not a disease that starts in the brain. It starts in the body and the brain start getting impacted. So this is a very important takeaway that you parents should understand. The disease does not start in the brain, it starts in the gut. And if you fix the gut, the body, the brain can start getting better. So genes load the gun. We might have a predisposition to a problem, but that does not mean that we will have a problem as long as we have the right environment. So genes load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. So even if we have a predisposition to certain disease, but if we keep the right environment, probably we will not get the disease. Okay, so if we get the disease but we correct the environment, disease can go. So it's all about fixing the environment and we can do it. So to have a healthy system, we have to have a healthy immune system, good digestive system, and good detoxification system. These are some of the things which are typically not right in a special child. And if we start working on these conditions, you will see that the brain will start functioning better. Just to name few of the fundamental problems why a child would have a poor gut or the symptoms of autism, ADHD, there are reasons behind it. Some of them are listed here. One is oxidative stress. Dysbiosis is very, very common. Dysbiosis basically means there's a more unhealthy bacteria, less good healthy bacteria in their gut. Many of them are intolerant or sensitive to certain foods, and we keep feeding those foods and the problem never solves. Many of them have parasitic infections, low glutathione, they have a lot of toxic burden, aluminium, mercury, arsenic, lead, strontium, cadmium. When we test them, we find a lot of things. Genetics is just one part of the problem. Many times when we take the history from the parent, we see that they were growing normal. The child was growing normal. Then some event has happened. And one of the event is vaccination or probably some viral fever. That also can trigger such a thing. Low vitamin D is another very, very critical thing. All of these kids that come to us, they are critically low on vitamin D. Low vitamin D means they're not getting enough sunlight, means they're exposed to the unnatural light, which is also one big factor behind the problem. If a mother was deficit into nutrition, the child would not get that. That also can put the child into risk. Prenatal folic acid, if the mother has taken folic acid in the pregnancy, that could also have triggered such a thing. Impaired detoxification, if their body is not able to detox their system, that is also another problem. Now all this also related to a mitochondrial dysfunction. Their mitochondria is not working well. This is one of the another trouble in most of these kids. Now the good news is most of the things, and of course we cannot change the genetics, But most of the other factors we can modify, we can improve, and we can help you improve your child. So just to, like I mentioned, to every disease starts in the gut, and this is where the problem starts in the child. Okay, to have a healthy gut, healthy digestion, you need to have a healthy microbiota. So अपना डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम में अच्छा बैक्टीरिया है और थोड़ा खराब भी है. जब इसका बैलेंस बिगड़ जाता है, अपना डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम विल इज ऑफ द ट्रैक. When we don't have enough healthy bacteria in the gut, or fungi, healthy fungi in the gut, this is where the problem starts. Okay, so we have to improve the gut microbiome. अगर वो अच्छा नहीं है, this is where inflammation starts in the gut. जब इन्फ्लेमेशन स्टार्ट होगा तो बॉडी में इन्फ्लेमेशन होगा, बॉडी में होगा तो ब्रेन में चला जाएगा. एंड इन्फ्लेमेशन इज वन ऑफ द रीजन इन ऑटिज्म, एडीएचडी एंड एएसडी. तो जितना भी ट्रबल यहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है. नेक्स्ट इज, if digestion is not good, or we are not feeding the right food to the child, over a period of time the child will start developing nutritional deficiencies. Okay, now if the body don't have enough nutrition, how do we expect the body to grow in a normal way? Then many of these kids have multiple food allergies because of the leaky gut, or because of the poor microbiota. As I mentioned, there are a lot of toxic things that are loaded in the system. That is also making the mitochondria not to function well, leading to the neurotoxic or immunotoxic effects and leading to these symptoms. So functional medicine approach is not to just to give you another pill. It's all about trying to find what is the reason specifically in your child and start correcting those imbalances so that the body is able to function in the way it should function. And as a consequence, the inflammation will come down. As a consequence, nutrition will improve. As a consequence, digestive system will improve. As a consequence, the brain will start functioning better. So hope you get some glimpses, but little bit onto a detail of nutrition. Many a times when we run the blood test or other testing, we find that they are low on vitamin E, zinc, selenium, amino acid. Proteins are another very common thing that we find into these kids. They might be eating enough protein-rich foods, but they're not able to digest these foods. When you don't digest, you don't get the amino acids in your body. You become low. That's a building block. And when you don't get, how do you expect the brain to function well? We are feeding ourselves and our kids largely genetically modified foods. Now, we as a human race are not supposed to be eating genetically modified foods. Now, when we don't eat the right food, how do we expect the body to function well? So this is another very key area. And we always ask the parents to not to feed them wheat and dairy and soya, which is largely hybrid in nature. And the moment they start feeding the right foods, they will start seeing the improvement in the kids. Many times allergies are there for some foods and other things, and if allergies are there, that means inflammation is there. If inflammation is there, there's inflammation in the brain. This is where the problem starts. So we have to avoid these allergies. So there's a concept called leaky gut. Our digestive system is made to absorb all the nutrition and take the waste out of the system. So it is like a filter, a tea filter. You pour in the tea, the leaves will leave in in the filter, the rest will come into the cup or the mug. Similarly, our digestive system, we eat the food, it has to be digested, and the nutrition should get into the system, in the bloodstream. Rest should go out. Now, when we develop a condition called leaky gut, unwanted particles start getting into the bloodstream. Bacterial byproducts, which are toxic byproducts, they start getting into the bloodstream. This is where inflammation starts. This is where inflammation in the brain starts. This is where the symptom starts. So if we see the leaky gut, if we improve the leaky gut, many of the symptoms will start coming down. So what are the triggers? What is causing them? These kids are leaky gut. Wheat, dairy products, certain other grains which are not healthy today because of their hybrid nature. So we have lots of trillions of good bacteria into our gut. When we lose the good guys, we start feeding the bad, we start growing the bad guys, the bad bugs and bad fungi, bad things. They will start bad products, and our chemistry is taken a bad toll. Just to put the emphasis on the dysbiosis, if we have enough good bacteria, we will produce a lot of good things into our body. Okay, one of the things is serotonin. 70% of the serotonin, which is the happy hormone, is produced by the microbiota in the gut, which is used in the brain. Now imagine if your child is crying all the day, probably because his gut is not healthy, he's not producing enough serotonin because we don't have enough good healthy bacteria. So just bringing the right balance to the gut by feeding them the right food and right supplementation can improve their gut health. As a consequence, their function, the brain function will work well. I mentioned you need a good healthy digestive system. Also we need a good endocrine system for the body to function well. If body is right, brain is right. If body is not right, brain will not function well. What is that is causing disruption today into our child sets? Why the number of cases diagnosed with this condition इतना बच्चों को क्यों ये डायग्नोस हो रहा है? रैम्पेंट यूज ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स. अब किसी को वायरल फीवर भी है, हम तब भी एंटीबायोटिक दे दे रहे हैं. इवन इन द किड्स वी समटाइम्स यूज एंटीबायोटिक जस्ट लाइक इट्स अ कैंडी. One shot of antibiotic can kill the good bacteria in the gut that can make you disabled for a long time. Acid blockers, gluten, painkillers, steroids, high sugar diets, food allergies, this all can disrupt the digestion. Now when digestion is not there, health cannot be there. Second, if endocrine system is not working well, cell to cell communication will not happen. This is another problem. What is that is disrupting this endocrine system? Lot of uh, household products or personal care products like body lotion, sunblock, pesticide, plastics in the food, industrial household chemicals for cleaning and all that, milk or dairy products which is not organic, which is loaded with antibiotics or which is loaded with a lot of hormones into it. Now if we keep feeding our child or to ourselves with a poor food, how do we expect the body to function well? Then we start putting the blame on the genes. It's not a gene which is a problem, it is the environment which is created around the body and within the body, which is a part of the trouble. Another very, very important reason of these conditions is a bad quality water that we are feeding, and we are feeding to our children also. A good quality water should be structured water. The right side image is a structured water. Left side image is an unorganized, unstructured water. Many a times, we maybe probably you as a parent must also be experienced this. When we ask the parent, they say that children are drinking more than enough water. They might be drinking water equivalent to an adult. They keep drinking the water frequently, but when we run their parameters, we run their blood test, we find they are dehydrated. So simply taking bad quality water can dehydrate cells, cause them their mitochondria not to function well, leading to these symptoms. Okay, so if we don't feed the cell with the right quality water, the mitochondria will not function well. As a consequence, the brain will not function well. Okay, so it is not that something wrong there, it's just because we're not feeding them the right water is big problem today. That's another very, very important thing is you must have observed or realized so far is, now in this lockdown time, probably your child was normal and he has become ADHD, or the severity of the problem was not so much. Over a period of this lockdown, the severity of the problem has increased. Why? Because we are hardly going outside under sun. We're always under artificial lights. We're always with mobile phones, laptops, computers, TV screens. We are bombarding ourselves with non-native electromagnetic fields. Okay, this has become so much a trouble that more and more children are diagnosed with this problem. So nothing wrong with the genetic makeup, it is just the environment that we humans has created for ourselves. Just to give you the gravity of that, a 6-year-old child's body, including their brain, absorbs 60% more radio frequencies from a cell phone or other wireless devices than a person in their 20s. Now For a child, their brain is still developing, the skull is still developing, myelin sheath is still coming onto their nervous system, and we expose them to so much of a radiation that development does not happen the way it should happen. Now, if we keep the trouble there and we expect the child to improve, it never happens like that. So then we start putting the blame on the genes. It's not a genetic problem, it is a problem of the environment. So now ask yourself, is your child's body, brain getting everything that they need to function optimally, or something is missing? Is something getting into the child's body, brain, which is interfering with their ability to function optimally? So is there any toxins? Is there any radiations around them? What is that is troubling? So you always has to ask the right questions to ask, get the right answers. But if you don't ask the right questions, probably you will just be, beating around the bush. So what is that we have to do? What is that, we should start doing to solve the problem for our kids? Remove the toxins. If any mercury, aluminium, arsenic, lead, test for it, take it out from the system. Body will function better. If any deficiencies in the body, correct those deficiencies. If any inflammation, reduce the inflammation. If the gut is not healthy, the bacteria in the gut is not healthy, improve that. So just give you a progress. I mean, of course, it's a very complex problem where digestion is a problem, toxins is a problem, awareness is a problem, so many other complex issues around these kids. Within a small short period of time of 2 months, of course, many of the parents could not follow everything that we have recommended, but there's a significant improvement. And if they keep doing this over a period of time, 6 to 9 months, probably the child can become absolutely normal without no diagnosis. So in 40% of the cases, the speech and receptive understanding has improved. Sleep patterns, which is very, very important. All of them are disturbed in the sleep. They cannot sleep well. Now, if you don't sleep well, you cannot regenerate your system. You cannot cope up with the stress that we are going under stress. So sleep is very, very important. And 40% of the children have started improving in the sleep. And if sleep improves, the brain will improve. Eye contact in 50% of the cases, stimming has improved in 40% of the cases. Compulsive behavior has improved in 40% of the cases. Hyperactivity reduced. More importantly, their 60 to 70% of the cases, their digestive system has improved. So this is the first thing, and most of them are reporting that digestive system has improved. This is the first step, a positive step that is happening. If the digestion is improved, the body will get nutrition, the body will detoxify itself, the body will reduce the inflammation if digestive system is good. So I mentioned, to have a healthy body, we have to have a healthy digestive system. So these are some of the experiences from some of the kids by their parents. A 10-year-old female child previously diagnosed with ASD. Now bowel movement have improved, receptive language, instruction following, speech to some extent has improved. A 5.5-year-old child, self-injurious behavior is a very common thing. It has come down. Speech is very it is improving now, and understanding, which is more important, is improving. Another testimonial from a child from ADHD, 5.5 years old. He shows more interest in singing rhymes, and he has started toe walking. Sometimes he answers correctly what he had to. So there are parents, they're reporting very, very good, amazing outcomes with their kids. So hope this can happen with your kid also. So similarly, a 3.5-year-old child, expressive language is still lacking. In the past 3 months, she gave a surprise to us by using 2-word sentences for 3 times. So just, it takes time, but small little steps can lead to a bigger change. So Ayush, you want to take it up about the program?
Yes, sir. So just before we talk about the program, I just want to speak a little bit about one of the important slides again. Sorry, sir, with your permission, actually, because we get a lot of questions about some of the patterns that we see. 75-80% of the parents that come to us, they come to us with a problem of बच्चे के स्पीच नहीं है या डिलेड है या सेंटेंसेस जोड़ के नहीं बनाता है या एक शब्द है जो मीनिंगफुल नहीं है एंड सो ऑन. सो बेसिकली इट इज रिलेटेड टू स्पीच. But under speech, there comes so many more things which are related to, because of which you are having these speech issues. So in our program, we are specifically tracking this as one component: speech and receptive understanding. समझ कितना पा रहा है बातों को. Again, eye contact is another one which people talk about, and there are a couple of people who ask questions about sleep patterns and compulsive behavior, aggressiveness. वो सारी चीजें इसमें पूछी थी. So in our program, we are tracking all of these parameters continuously to understand. We reassess ourselves and the program bases all of these parameters. कितना कितना progress हो रहा है. So just to help you understand, this is the collective understanding at an average. इतना percentage improvement within 2 months, 3 months. This is actually 2 month. ये पूरे 3 महीने के program है, but for almost all of them, because of COVID, एक महीना disrupt हुआ था. So this is effectively a 2 month period within which this is the kind of at an average improvement people have found. तो ये बहुत important है चीज समझना कि आप अगर किसी चीज को बारे में सीरियसली सोचते हैं तो उससे आपको आउटकम क्या मिल सकता है. तो दिस इज व्हाट द आउटकम कुड बी. दीज आर एग्जांपल्स. यू मे और मे नॉट बी एबल टू रिलेट टू देम, and some of them you probably would, because of which you are here, but objectively that is the kind of improvement we have seen. So how does this all work out? There are 4 things we are trying to do in the entire program. Everything is based on diagnosis, which is the bedrock of functional medicine approach or personalization. So we diagnose and we have a personalized approach. Nothing which is generic is going to work out for something which we don't understand fully. As human beings, we don't understand autism as a spectrum. Autism is a spectrum जिसके अंदर ये components हैं. So we are trying to take those components and solve those components. And those components, if we break the problem into pieces, we are able to understand the genesis of those pieces and solve them, which is why personalization is extremely important. And there are so many things that parents they need to do. So education बहुत important हो जाती है. So there are classes in the program. We'll talk about all of those things. And at the end of the day, even a doctor would be able to help you to a certain degree only. So doctor can advise you, guide you, become a mentor, become a coach, become everything. But there could be practical challenges which a parent would be able to understand better. So we do have a community support. All the parents, everyone, doctors, support team, everyone, they reside in one single WhatsApp group to help everyone, help each other out. So the entire program is for 3 months. It is broken into 2 clear parts. In fact, I would say into 3 parts. So one is treatment, second is education, and third is making it all come together with community engagement. So treatment, it's all personalized. Going deeper about this, first step is we fill in a very detailed health history form about the child. Kuch 80, 90, 80, 90 questions are there. We are trying to know each and everything about your child right from the birth till now. आपके जितने भी टेस्ट आपने रेलेवेंट टेस्ट कराए होंगे, all of which goes in. You do get a phone number for technical assistance and everything. उसकी basis पे Dr. Ashwini does a case analysis and he orders or he advises for some blood tests. Blood test के लिए again you don't have to go anywhere. It's a completely online program. The child in physical form in nothing is required. So test के लिए home sample collection के लिए बंदा आ सकता है. If you want to get your test done locally, you can go ahead and do that. Basis, once we have the results, there is a plan of action which is drawn by Dr. Ashwini and team. And we explain to you in an explanatory call what are the reasons because of which you have got into this condition and what are the ways in which you would be able to get out of it. तो वो implementation वहाँ से शुरू होता है. Now in this you are continuously in touch with the doctor through what a doctor support team through WhatsApp and phone calls, and you can also reach out to them individually outside the group as well if you want to take any personal, you have a personal query or personal assistance, कोई उस तरह की चीज हो. Second month towards the end, we have a realignment to assess how far we have progressed and what changes further are required. Continuously track करते हैं, and towards the end of third month, we also may go for a realignment, a retesting if required to advise you what you need to do beyond 3 months as well. इस सारे समय में all this support is there continuous with you. Now one more important thing, there could be some therapies which you, if your child requires, if the program requires, then many of these therapies, internal therapies, would be given within the program. So we'll come about that. I mean, जब भी सवाल आता है, we'll talk about that. So education again is a critically important part. So first month there are 4 sessions, weekly sessions, which are going to happen about root causes, nutritional deficiencies, then gut health, then toxicity and radiation. Not just theoretical understanding, but also practical implementation ki ye sab karna kaise. After that, there would be bi-weekly sessions in month 2 and month 3. So 4 additional sessions, 8 sessions in all. जो सेकेंड और थर्ड मंथ में सेशंस होंगे, those are decided upon by the parents and the educators, their community. पेरेंट्स और एजुकेटर दोनों भी इसमें होंगे. नाउ थ्रू आउट सपोर्ट आपका कंटिन्यूस रहता ही है, और टेस्टिंग आपकी थर्ड मंथ में फॉर फर्दर गाइडेंस इफ रिक्वायर्ड. Sir, you want to explain about this?
Yes, so I think it is important. We do have given some examples what you can expect for your child. Then nutrition will improve. If they have any concomitant problems like allergies, gut issues, asthma, any other eczema, skin issues, they will also reduce. Okay, so you can expect balanced mood, improvement in their anxiety, impulsiveness, aggressiveness, stereotypical behavior. All these symptoms in this 3 month they will start reducing. Of course, it might take a little more time, 6 months, 9 months, to completely eliminate that problem. Of course, 80% of the cases I'm saying it can completely improve. Of course, over a period of time you will see how it is panning out. Sleep is a major issue, and it will definitely improve. Your child can become more independent. Okay, the communication, the socializing skills will definitely improve.
Right. Just 1 second, sir. So the cost of this program is 16,000 rupees for the next 2 months for the entire treatment, support, anything and everything. वो सारा 16,000 का है. The full program cost is 20,000 rupees. But if you join in the next 2 days, the cost would be at a 20% discounted rate. Now, if you want to break it up into 2 components, you can go ahead and do that. Pehla mahina, the cost is going to be 8,000 rupees. For the next 2 months, it would be 12,000 rupees, however. So that is how it would be. For educational part, there is a possibility, Aparajita, jaisa aap pooch rahe the. So 7,000 rupees for all these classes being kind of a mini internship. No, it does not include, Pawan Reddy, the cost of medicines, because they are different for different children. There is no standardized treatment. Try and understand. See, start asking the right questions, please. The program is going to begin or would start from 31st of July, which is a Sunday, 7 p.m. So I would open up a poll for you guys to help us understand your interest in the program. If you have any concerns, if you have any queries, please make sure that all of you respond to the poll. Jinke sawal ho, wo please. How you can make the payment, by the way, you can make the payment through all kinds of methodologies available by Google Pay, this, that, everything is there. I'll just share that screen for a bit. So ye aap payment kar sakte. You can take a screenshot if you like. So all of these things are there. Yeah, I'll just open up the poll. I think I did. So those of you who have queries or who have interest in the program, please share your phone numbers in the group chat so that we can reach out to you and we can advise you accordingly. Now, I'm opening up for questions. You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question directly as well.
Yeah, I'm Sri Lalita here, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
See, my child was diagnosed as ADHD at the age of 3. At the time, he was with my mother, and they have asked me to leave my job and be with him. After that, I have seen a lot of improvement in him when I actually quit and spent some time with him. Now, I just want to know, will that ADHD will go with the age or with the time, or we need to, because the diet also we have changed. There was a lot of improvement after we have changed his diet. So I just want to know whether this will go with age, or is there any chance that or we need to do something?
Right, Shrilata, you see, till the time there's the cause of the problem, there'll be symptoms. Okay. Like you mentioned, you kept yourself with the child, it has improved. You change the diet, child has improved. But still there might be some further issues, you need to dig deeper into it. Don't expect it will go by themselves. It doesn't happen like that. Okay. You have
Okay.
to dig deeper, find out, and fix the problem.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, madam.
Hello, sir. I'm from Patna. I need to ask one thing. My daughter has also diagnosed with ADHD, approx at the age of 4, and today she is 9 years old and studying in class 1. But she has some kind of learning disability. She can't learn by herself, or she never concentrate all the time when nowadays the online classes are going on, and when we started the online classes from school, and तो वो never मतलब never pay attention on the studies. वो पूरे टाइम बस रोलिंग रॉकिंग करती है. ये
Right, वो तो
हम लोग
symptoms हैं. बताइए, आपका क्वेश्चन क्या है, हमको बता दीजिए. वो तो
हाँ, तो
symptoms हैं, बताइए.
आई नीड टू नो कि वो हम लोगों ने उसका स्पीच थेरेपी भी कराया, ऑक्यूपेशनल थेरेपी भी कराया, बट स्टिल हम लोग साइड नहीं है, और वो है ना अभी भी रॉकिंग वॉकिंग सब
Right,
कुछ
right.
उसका होता है.
तो देखिए,
तो
मैंने
कैसे ये हम लोग उसको इम्प्रूव करेंगे, कैसे
Right,
ये
right.
सब स्टॉप,
हाँ, हाँ.
कैसे उसका ये सब खत्म होगा?
यस, यस. देखिए, आपने देखिए 2 तरह की थेरेपीज हैं. एक आउटसाइड थेरेपी है, एक इंटरनल थेरेपी है. आउटसाइड थेरेपी जैसे यू नो इट्स जस्ट लाइक ट्रेनिंग देम. ट्रेन करने से कारण नहीं चला जाएगा. कारण कुछ खाना हो सकता है, कारण उनके
शी
एनवायरनमेंट.
हैज नॉट एनी अदर इशू, बट और सारी चीजों में एक्टिव रहती है, टीवी मोबाइल ये सब में.
ऐसे
तो
नहीं, आप कंक्लूड मत करिए, अपने से कंक्लूड मत करिए कि कोई इशू नहीं है. Okay.
But she has an issue. I told you now. She has diagnosed
Madam,
with
you're not listening.
ADHD.
Please, if you listen to me, probably I'll be more useful to you.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
are saying she don't have other issues. Don't conclude those things. Let us evaluate and let us help your child.
So how do you help her?
I just mentioned, madam, we have to dig deeper. How's the gut health? How's the bacteria in the gut? What is the level of toxins in the body? What is the level of nutrition in the body? What is the level of inflammation in the body? What kind of environment she is into? We have to correct that environment. All those things we will help you with. As a consequence, the child will improve.
How will you examine her?
Hello, doctor. Good evening. This is Sakina here.
Yes,
I have a 14-year-old
Just
son.
Nirosha ma'am, just
Hello, sir.
Hold
This
on.
is Nirosha here.
One second. I'll allow you to unmute yourself. Just allow me 1 second. The previous response was incomplete. This is a very important question, and a lot of all parents would be having. How would you diagnose? तो उसका जवाब ये है कि the way we would diagnose is, the first step is we'll fill in a health history form to understand what we need to look into. उसकी basis पे we go for blood tests. Once those results are there, we do a root cause analysis, and thereby we are trying to look inside the body. We are not trying to go for external therapies. तो बच्चा physical नहीं, बच्चा internal उसका assessment करना है. So those blood tests, any which way we would be having reports, and which will help us analyze. And we will be continuously in touch with parents and would be tracking the progress of the child to make adjustments and changes through the course of the program. So that is how this entire thing works. What blood tests would you be doing would depend upon what you have answered or how you have responded in the initial health history form. Uski basis pe test honge. Primarily, we're looking for some 8 or 10 categories of understanding, such as a gut microbiome, gut infections, inflammatory markers. We are looking at hormones and enzymes. We are looking at some of the proteins. We are looking at some other parameters, such as, let's say, a gut microbiome imbalance and so on. So all of these things combined is what we are looking at. And it would heavy metal toxicity, all of this would depend upon अपने health history form में क्या भरा है, पुराने test में क्या है. Sorry, Nirosha, I held you. You can please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah. Sir, this is Nirosha here. So I would like to ask about the your program, sir, because will you provide any nutrition to the child? Nutrients like food supplements will you provide for him, sir?
Yes, there are food supplements, ma'am. So the program has three major components. It has the entire treatment part, diagnosing and observing the child and its progress and so on. Diet is an important part of it.
That diet I have to follow from my side, or will you provide any particular food for them?
Dr. Ashwini, probably you can answer this best. So you there? Right. So there is no diet specifically from our end, in the sense that we would not provide products, but we would provide you recipes, and we would provide individual guidance on components basis, how whatever are the deficiencies or insufficiencies with the child individually. Those at the individual level, that guidance is there.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And with your guidance, I had to follow the diet.
Yes. We'll set the guidelines for you, what the child should be eating, what she should not be eating, what kind of environment, what sort of nutraceuticals, what is the doses, frequency. All that detailing will tell you, but again, you have to do it yourself, follow it yourself. We'll keep giving you guidance and support for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I actually heard that some nutrition supplements were given by you. That's what I asked this question.
Okay.
Right. Hi, Neha here. Yeah. So just a quick query. This is the program cost. Is that a lifetime thing, or is it like, what is the duration of the program?
3 months, ma'am.
3 months. And in those 3 months, supposing we follow all the suggestions, the diet, and we do the complete diagnostic, everything. If in those 3 months, supposing we do not, see progress, we do not see any gains, would you be then extending the program?
So this is what you should expect if followed. So I'll share the negative experience also with you. So far in the program, there has been one child who has not been able to benefit tremendously. We usually, as I said, this is the 5th batch, and typically we get around 30-40 people in a batch, so around 120 odd people. So of those 120 odd people, there was one child who was not able to get benefited. Otherwise, this is an average. It includes children who are 19, 20, 22 years of age also, in which the progress is not as much as others. So, so including them, this is the average expectation that you should be having.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Ayush, second part is, yes, Neha, after 3 months, we will reassess the child.
Okay.
And we will, have a continuity plan for them.
Okay.
Hello,
because previously we had done the OATS test.
Yes.
The OAT test. We were consulting Dr. Shanta Venkat in Mumbai. Okay. And we did the OAT test, and she gave such a big battery of supplements that we really weren't able to follow that. So that is my one fear, is that, so right now, say, for example, if I'm giving my son a couple of things like homeopathy medicine, and just, maybe 1 or 2 things like fish oil and all of that, I don't want to be overburdened, say, some 10 things to be given, which is just physically impossible. And then naturally you will not be able to follow the program because there are just too many things. So that is the other thing that I might have.
So Neha, the priority wise, first is the environment, what kind of lighting the child is into. Second priority is the water and the food. Third priority is the supplementation. For us, supplementation is not the first priority. Of course, supplementation is very, very useful and required. But that's not the first, there's a third priority, and we start with a minimal, whatever as per the need of the child. If vitamin D is missing, B complex is missing, B9, B12 is missing, omega-3 is missing, magnesium, zinc is missing, probiotics are required, so only we'll start with the basic supplementation. Not just like, most of the biomed guys, they load the child with lot of these supplementation. That's not our approach.
Okay.
Hello.
All right.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Sir, my son is diagnosed with ASD. He's 14 years old. Okay, sir. The thing is that, his hand and feet, it becomes cold. It's like, as if we have removed his hand from, from a cold storage. It becomes for an hour or so, it remains like that. Why would this be, sir?
Again, cold feet, probably low thyroid function. So it's just too impossible for me to give you any differential diagnosis until unless I look deeper into it. Okay, we don't want to get into assumptions. But there are all, many of the kids have these symptoms, and then when we look at the problem, we find the reasons about it.
Okay.
Hello,
Fine.
So
Thank you,
Vijaya
sir.
here.
Yeah, Vijay, go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to ask you that my son is diagnosed with autism, mild autism, when he was in 2.5 years old, and after that the lockdown happens in our society. Actually, I didn't know this autism kind of thing before that, but I have seen some sudden change during the lockdown itself. I have seen that his development is becoming delay. As of before, I was just concerned about that he is not able to speak that much. That's the only problem I was facing that time. And the second thing is he's not able to sleep properly.
Right.
Then what I have done in my as much as I can, that I started change some environment, and I do some activities with him, and I can see some sudden change in him, and I go him to outside for some park. But when and I can see some drastic change in him that time. That's why I do consider your environmental factor and your approach of treating autism. Then when and along with that, I started homeopathy medicine also, and I don't know what is the main reason, whether it is the environment or whether it is homeopathy medicine, but I can see the drastic change in my son within 3 months. But when the second pandemic is happening, where that second wave is happening, I again see that my son I need to keep him inside that time, and we just stop to go to outside that time, and then I again see that my son is again doing that same repeating word and repeating behavior he's doing again. And then I feel like that why is not improving, and that's why I want to ask you that I can continue with you guys along with my homeopathy medicine, and what's the approach I am following these days.
Okay, yes, certainly you can continue with the homeopathy as long as you have a good homeopath. I have no problem with that. Second is, you yourself explained, you took him outside under sun, he started making melatonin. Now, melatonin is a sleep hormone, also anti-inflammatory hormone that is made under sun, used at night. Okay, you
Okay.
get yourself enough sunlight, you make melatonin, you get good sleep.
Yes,
right?
yes, definitely.
So you definitely see, we humans are designed for health. We are not designed to get sick. We are not born for sickness. Okay, it is only because we keep a poor environment around it. This is where the problem starts. And if we don't fix the environment, whatever we keep doing, whatever supplementation we keep doing, it does not help.
यस, तो होम्योपैथी साथ में स्टार्ट करने से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना, मतलब उसका भी प्रोग्राम चलता रहेगा और होम्योपैथी भी, बिकॉज आई हैव हर्ड इन योर प्रोग्राम दैट आप भी होम्योपैथी मेडिसिन प्रोवाइड कराते हैं. तो ये एक्चुअली जो मुझे 3 months का जो सर का मतलब जिससे मेरे बेटे का चल रहा है, उनका मुझे अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स मिला है. मेरा बच्चा बोलने लगा है, एटलीस्ट बताने लगा है कि उसे क्या चाहिए. हाँ उसका बिहेवियरल इशू रह गया है बस कि वो मतलब बहुत थोड़ा जिद्दी है, उसे जो काम करना है वो करना है. सो दैट इसके लिए मुझे थोड़ा सा हेल्प चाहिए.
राइट
थोड़ा
राइट.
सा
सो व्हिच डेफिनेटली यू कैन कंटिन्यू. आप जो होम्योपैथ्स के साथ काम कर रहे हो करते रहिए, हमको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उसके साथ.
ओके ओके.
हम हमारे हिसाब से जो आपके बच्चे का असेसमेंट के बाद जो चाहिए होगा वी विल इन्फॉर्म यू. And you can also keep consulting and keep sharing whatever we as a program told you with your.
और सर आफ्टर है ना सेकेंड लॉकडाउन आई हैव सीन कि उसे कॉन्स्टिपेशन का भी इशू रहने लगा, और वो सारी चीजें जो मैंने आपकी सुनी है ना वो सब उसमें धीरे धीरे मतलब मैंने देखी है. दैट्स व्हाई आई फील लाइक कि हाँ ये सब चीजें ही से ठीक होगा, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट द पर्सन की मतलब उन्हें इसे थेरेपीज करा दो और वो ठीक हो जाएगा. मैं थेरेपीज के फेवर में नहीं हूँ शुरू से ही.
राइट विजय, राइट.
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you, ma'am. There are a lot of people with their hands raised. Pratima ji, Mr. Guru Kumar, Mr. Mohammad Mayuri, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hello. Hi.
Mr. Guru Kumar and then Mr. Mohammad, please, and Ms. Mayuri.
Me, Guru Kumar, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Guru Kumar, please go ahead.
Sir, my daughter now she's 7+ years, sir. She is suffering from ASD and ADHD.
8 months.
Therapy last year, sir.
18 months.
Till Corona came, we are unable to take the therapy, sir.
Okay.
Now she's sometimes scold other persons, beat someone.
Yes.
Some problems are there. Is there any chance to join in your program, sir?
Yes, Guru Kumar, you can take that's your call to join the program, but आपकी बच्ची will definitely improve. वो आप अगर आप हमारा recommendation, it's a lot of work that we have to do. It's not an easy, way, but if you follow it, child will definitely improve.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Mohsin. As you have mentioned in your session that genetics could be one of the reason for this problem. So with your diagnosis, are you going to confirm that also, or you are not going to do that? Second thing is that when my son was born, after 3 months, I have seen different shades of skin color. Like some part of it it was black, and some part was like we Indians have color, wheatish color.
Okay.
So that kind of thing I have seen, and then one of the doctor has told me that this could be because of the genetic disorder. And that's why I'm keen to know that if you are doing the diagnosis and if you are confirming that it is not related to genetics, it is something different, then it will be more beneficial.
Let me help you understand, Moss, in this. So we humans have 22,000 genes of our own, but 98% of the 99% of genes, they come from the viruses and bacteria and the fungi that is in the gut. Okay. So it is too difficult to put a blame on one gene and another gene, and these genes keep on and off, based on the environment. So second part of the equation is we cannot change the genetic makeup. We can only improve the manifestation. So our focus is not to diagnose if any genetic problem, because that becomes too expensive also, even if we get into that diagnosis part. But we cannot change it. If we cannot change it, no point digging into that problem. But definitely, as we improve the environment by nutrition and all that methods, the manifestation will improve. The genetic expression will improve. As a consequence, the problem will resolve to a greater extent. It can also, resolve to 100% also. Just to give you example, we recently we had a child who had come to us with eczema from the birth. He was 25 or 26 years old. Okay. He had gone everywhere, and then the parents were given this answer that nothing can be done. Within 3 months, his eczema is gone. Okay, that was from the birth, and it was considered as a genetic problem. But today, eczema is gone. So this is what we do.
Miss Pratima, I hope it was answered, Mr. Mohsin. So, Miss
Yes,
Pratima.
sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, my child is 6 years old, and his behavior is like a normal child, but main problem is he has a not proper attention. Give a proper attention, because he has a, I think, problem learning disorder. Because I don't go the doctor, because his behavior is totally normal. He's talk with me, he playing with his elder brothers, but he has not focused attention for the activity like reading or basically in the sir writing. The reading capacity is good. So how can I improve his attention?
Right, attention खराब होने के कारण हो सकते हैं. Attentive क्यों नहीं है? There are reasons behind it. We can solve those reasons, and intention can. See, one is a behavioral problem, one is a organic problem. कुछ खराब है सिस्टम के अंदर, जिसको हम ठीक कर सकते हैं. जैसे वो ठीक करेंगे उनका बिहेवियर.
मतलब सर एक्चुअली सॉरी फॉर इंटरप्ट यू, बट सर कैसे हम कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि वो बच्चों के अपने भाई के साथ तो बहुत अच्छे से खेलता, बट अदर बच्चों के साथ या रिलेटिव मतलब रिलेशन में जो कजिन्स है उनके साथ खेलेगा, बट आउटसाइड बच्चों के साथ बहुत मिक्सअप नहीं हो पाता है. He is studying in prep class, but he is not. So he is not playing with other childs, but he's talk with me, everything question answer he focus, but he is not proper paying attention in the study.
मैंने वही कहा प्रतिमा, we have to dig deeper. There's no one answer to the problem. जब तक अब उसको हम डायग्नोस नहीं करेंगे, अच्छे से टेस्ट नहीं करेंगे, पता नहीं चलेगा. बट whenever see, हमारे पास कुछ ADHD वाले आते हैं, कुछ अटेंशन डेफिसिट वाले ADD वाले भी आते हैं, वो इम्प्रूव करते हैं.
तो सर हाउ कैन आई मतलब आपसे मैं कैसे हेल्प ले सकती हूँ सर?
हाँ जी,
हमारा ये जो प्रोग्राम है 3 महीने का, आप उसको ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. उसके डिटेल्स हमने ग्रुप चैट में दिए हैं, और आप अपना फोन नंबर भी शेयर कर दें, तो हम लोग आपको रीच आउट कर सकते हैं, आपको गाइड कर सकते हैं. आपके सवाल.
आई मीन प्रयागराज, एंड आई राइट माय फोन नंबर ऑन दिस चैट बॉक्स.
हाँ, वो लिख दीजिए. नो प्रॉब्लम.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi, my son is 5.5 years old. He was diagnosed with ASD at the age of 3.5. So we have done with speech therapies and OTs. No doubt there is a lot of improvement in that. But one major issue is he is in eating habits. He is not ready to eat properly. I mean, it's like fixed. Like he eats bread and like I gave him mashed fruits. वो जो बचपन से जो खाते हैं ना mashed fruits करके, वही जो, and plus khichdi, but no roti, paranta, and even not ready to try new things. He just put it on his tongue, new things, वो भी बहुत मुश्किल से, and just put it aside. So it's like major problem is that, and because of that he is mostly constipated and irritated. वैसे he is like very mild ASD, and I mean he's good in studies, he replies, he answers, he's like normal child. But ये थोड़ी सी problems हैं, तो how this will your program help?
Anupriya, so
yeah,
there's a saying, right? Gut feeling. I have a gut feeling.
Yeah, that's sorry.
Yes. So the kind of bacteria or the fungus we have, kind of behavior we have, kind of habits we have. Okay. If we keep eating similar foods, the kind of food we eat, kind of bacteria we grow into our gut. Now, as we improve that bacterial diversity, habits will change. Sometimes we have seen deficiencies in the body can also lead to poor taste buds. That is also another part of the problem, where they're very picky eaters. Sometimes poor mitochondrial function also can make them not to chew the food. So if over a period of time we improve the mitochondrial function, the chewing will improve. Okay. So definitely you can expect improvements. So it's again, Anupriya, as you start implementing, there's a lot of changes to the diet that you have to make. Slowly, the child will adapt. Now, if we don't make that hard step, for example, sometimes hunger is good. Okay, if we don't feed the child, it is a good thing sometimes. But just sometimes what is happening today, we are all from a well-off families. We want to feed our child somehow.
Yes,
we keep the phone in front of the child and we just popping things into the mouth.
Yes,
his intention is not on the food. He does not digest the food. When the food is not digested, it becomes fermented. Fermentation in the stomach will lead to a lot of toxic byproducts. Okay. So if see, human nature is to eat food. You need food for your energy. Okay. You can be hungry for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Then habits don't care. If you are a vegetarian, for example, and you're dying of hunger, after 7 days you're dying of hunger. If I give you meat, probably you will eat it.
Yes,
Okay, because this is how the survival instincts work into us.
Yes.
You have to allow that to happen to your child also, so that he can change his habits. But if we don't allow, we don't become a little stricter with it. They keep doing because they don't know what is right for them, what is wrong for them.
Okay. Actually he gags, so जैसे बाकी vomit होने लगती है ना हमारे खाने को देख के, if we sit and eat with him, we always do that. But हमारे food को देख के he is like कि मम्मी don't, इसको हटा लो यहाँ से, don't show me that.
Problem क्या है कि अपने बच्चे, we are all from well-off family, they are overfed.
Yes,
we don't let them get hungry.
हाँ, ये तो है fact.
ये सब ठीक हो सकता है अनुप्रिया.
Okay. Will this help? Because I'm really very much worried क्योंकि कहीं हम बाहर जा ही नहीं सकते. We have to carry our food and he doesn't eat chips वगैरह he takes, but बिल्कुल कि he lies lays तो he wants that only. Otherwise और कोई नहीं खाएगा.
So we will stop all the food that is coming in a packaged food, because if we keep adding to the problem, we hardly see a solution to the problem. तो जब तक healing नहीं होता है तब तक तो ये सब बंद करना पड़ेगा at least.
हाँ, ठीक है. Okay, thank you.
Hello, I am Vinky sir.
Yeah, Vinky ji, please go.
Sir, मेरा बेटा, my son is 8.5 years old. He has autism, sir. सर मैंने उसके लिए होम्योपैथी भी ट्राई की है पर मुझे कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ होम्योपैथी का. लॉकडाउन से पहले सर ही इज गोइंग इन नॉर्मल स्कूल इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन, बट अब उसमें बहुत सारे बिहेवियर्स आ गए. ही इज नॉन वर्बल टू. तो सर हाउ कैन आई गेट द हेल्प?
So Vinky, this is a 3-month program, and 3 months enough to see a good change. It's not enough to reverse the problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if you're willing, you understand what we are doing, and if you want to join, you can join the program, and it definitely.
Sir, क्या autism curable है with this program?
Right. I mentioned 80 to 85% of the chances are caused by environment. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If we change the environment, तो बीमारी को जाना ही है. Okay. So yes, in a good number of kids, it can be cured. But of course, if you start looking on the research and all that, because what we have done is we're putting a lot of things together to make this program. Not many people around the globe are doing such programs, which is so comprehensive. So you cannot find so many evidence that this problem can be resolved. But आप देख लेंगे 3 महीने में कितना improvement होता है. Okay. And if you continue doing that, there will be a day where you will you can see your child not being labeled as some disease.
Okay, sir. Sir, इस प्रोग्राम में क्या GFCF डाइट फॉलो करने के लिए दी जाती हैं या we can have?
So दो चीजें हैं. अभी क्या होता है, GCF ग्लूटेन फ्री केसन फ्री डाइट के नाम पे आपको व्हाइट राइस खाने को बोल दिया जाता है.
Yes, sir.
Again, white rice is a non-nutritious food. It's a negative food. So we will eliminate wheat, we will eliminate dairy, we will eliminate refined oils, we will eliminate sugars. We will give you more healthier options to eat, and lot of them.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, good evening, sir. May I ask my question?
Yes, ma'am. Mayuri ji, and after that, Miss Arpita, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. So actually, my child is of 8 years old, and he is also having this autism problem. And we have started his therapy since when he was 2.5 years. So before that, he was able to speak. He was speaking everything, and he was very much active. And according to his age, all the developments were there. But after that, he had severe fever, and after that, fits. After that, I found suddenly there was a drastic change in him, his behavior, and he stopped talking, and all such issues started. So immediately from the age of 3, we have started his therapy and all. And I think almost it is 5 years, but till now there is no such improvement in him.
Right,
But
right.
yes, I can say that he can. Till now, his situation status is like he is able to understand what we are saying. He is able to follow our command. But we have done all the tests like FIT test, food tolerance test, and all, and we were going through all such whatever they have suggested. We have done, but we cannot continue properly. Till then, through therapy also, there is no such improvement, sir. So, what is to be done right now?
Right, Mayuri. Okay, you mentioned a fever. हो गया. The child was growing normal, so that means that nothing genetically wrong with the child. He can again
Yes.
become normal. Okay.
Yes.
Now fever आया, न्यूरो इन्फ्लेमेशन हुआ, ब्रेन में इन्फ्लेमेशन हुआ, जिसके चलते सिम्टम्स हुआ, रिग्रेशन हुआ. Now, अगर आप ढंग से follow नहीं करोगे, you cannot expect. Okay, then I don't know how much has been done. Our program is very very elaborate. Okay. बहुत काम है, बहुत मेहनत है पेरेंट्स का, बट यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट अ वेरी वेरी गुड आउटकम आल्सो. तो अगर फॉलो करोगे तो आउटकम आना ही है.
Yes, sir. No, we are ready to follow because whatever guidance they are giving, but only just because of his diet, he is not ready to have everything. It's just because before some time one parent was explaining that his child is fixed to like khichdi and all. So my child is also that kind of. He is not ready to eat everything. Just
Right.
now he has started eating puris and parathas and all, but that also it depends upon his mood. He doesn't want to have all.
Mayuri, I think this is the mood business is only for our families. Okay.
Yes, sir.
People who are coming from the underprivileged societies, there's no mood issue. No, उनको भूख लगा है, उनको जो मिल गया उनको खाना है. As a parent, we have to understand this psychology. It is not something wrong with the child. It just you have given so many options. He will only choose what he likes, but it is not good for the child. So we have to become a little stricter with the child till he becomes healthy again. Okay, and if we don't change the habit, it's a trouble for a child. Okay, so I think habit changing can take 21 days. And if you can be stricter as a mother with a child, you can really help your child.
I definitely wants to join your program, and I want to know it. Like I could not join from the beginning, so it's a kind request. Can anybody from your group can explain about the program? So it will
Yes,
be
ma'am,
very
you will get
helpful
all
for
information in the WhatsApp group. Don't worry. Even the recording and all program details will be shared.
Yes,
And
yes.
those of,
Okay. Thank you very much.
and those of you who are having specific queries around, ma'am, please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. So those of you who have specific queries regarding understanding of program, please stay towards the end. जब ये सारे सवाल, all questions are answered, we'll revisit that. So we'll describe the program again. Ms. Arpita, and then after that, Mr. Ishan, please. Arpita, you have to unmute yourself, red button. हाँ जी,
हेलो सर.
बोलें.
हेलो, मेरे बेटे को 3 years 7 months हुआ है, तो वो अभी थोड़ा दिन पहले ही हमने उसको मतलब डायग्नोज हुआ है कि उसको ऑटिज्म है और ADHD है, माइल्ड ऑटिज्म ADHD. तो अभी तक तो वो बात नहीं कर रहा है इतने सालों से. तो वही आपने जो बोला कि जो एक्सपोजर है बाहर का एनवायरनमेंट में, मतलब वो तो 2 साल से पेंडेमिक चल रहा है और 3-4 महीने के लिए स्कूल गया था, और हम लोग दोनों बाहर नौकरी करते हैं तो ज्यादा बाहर नहीं जाता है, घर पे ही रहता है। तो क्या इसकी वजह से उसको ये सब मतलब प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है? और अभी तो घर पे ही रहता है, तो लाइट के बारे में आप बोल रहे थे, करंट के बारे में, और उसका जो गट प्रॉब्लम है, मतलब उसका मतलब मुझे सिर्फ इतना लगता है कि उसके पोटी में थोड़ा स्मेल ज्यादा है, मतलब ऐसा लगता है। इससे ज्यादा मुझे लगता नहीं कि उसको ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है। थोड़ा थोड़ा वॉमिटिंग होता है कभी कभी, इंडाइजेशन, मतलब डाइजेशन का प्रॉब्लम मुझे नजर नहीं आता उसमें इसलिए समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। आपने इतना कुछ इतना कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव तरीके से बोला है, मतलब ऐसे।
हाँ हाँ, आपने बताया कि
हाँ,
स्मेल आता है तो
रोटी में
खाना
थोड़ा सा
पचता नहीं।
अनयूजुअल स्मेल लगता है मुझे।
राइट राइट, तो खाना पचता नहीं है, खाना सड़ता है। कोई
अच्छा,
चीज सड़ेगा तो स्मेल आएगा, अगर अच्छे से पच जाएगा तो स्मेल नहीं आएगा। दिस
हाँ।
इज वन। आपने कहा कि बच्चा
अच्छा।
अंदर है, डेफिनेटली।
अच्छा,
देखिए,
तो उसमें बहुत
हाँ, जस्ट टू गिव
हाँ।
यू द ग्रेविटी ऑफ दैट, डायबिटीज पेंडेमिक बन गया है अराउंड द ग्लोब एंड नोबडी अंडरस्टैंड द रीजन ऑफ इट. One of the reason behind diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is the lighting. If you stay under blue light, you will become diabetic. Okay. Pandemic hai. Similarly, blue light is killing the mitochondria, causing the child to behave in certain way. एक सेल के अंदर 500 to 5000 mitochondria रहते हैं, 5000, and nervous system has the most concentrated number of mitochondria. If we are not under right kind of lighting, अगर sunlight नहीं लेते हैं, we are always exposed to blue light, that is tube lights, LED lights, it will kill the mitochondria. And there's enough research. I'm not making this story up. You Google it, blue light toxicity and mitochondria, you will have your answers. Okay. So जब तक खराब कंडीशंस रहेगा तब तक बीमारी रहेगा, कंडीशंस ठीक होगा तो बीमारी जाने लगेगा.
और पिताजी आप म्यूटेड हो. We'll move on to another question. Mr. Ishan.
Hello sir, good evening. This is Sonam,
Hello.
Ishan's mother. Ishan is my child's name. Okay. So my question to Dr. Ashwini ji, sir, actually problem is that मेरा बच्चा diagnosis हुआ है mild autism में, मतलब mild autism है, लेकिन उसको ना like 1-2 calculation उसको आता है, but नंबर concept उसको आइडिया नहीं हो पा रहा है. मैं बहुत दिनों से ट्राई कर रही हूँ, वो समझ नहीं पा रहा है. तो उसमें क्या एएसडी में भी यही प्रॉब्लम होता है?
Yes, yes. So again, डिस्कैल्कुलिया, अलग अलग नाम दे दिए जाते हैं सिम्टम के हिसाब से. ओके. And then there's no diagnosis does not tell what is wrong. Diagnosis is always based on the symptoms. हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव यहाँ पर है, we should dig deeper into the problem and उस रूट कॉज को हम सॉल्व करें, जिसके चलते उनका abilities improve हो जाए, and the number theory will also improve for him.
जी. एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन है सर कि ये तो क्योरेबल है, जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं कि मतलब 80 to 85% तक आप ये क्योरेबल है ना ऑटिज्म. एंड सेकेंड ये कि इसके साथ मुझे साइमल्टेनियसली वो जो थेरेपी देना पड़ेगा या थेरेपी कोई जरूरत नहीं है?
ओके. ओके, हम लोग स्कूल में बच्चों को स्कूल में भेजते हैं, राइट, टू लर्न.
सॉरी फॉर इंटरफेरेंस सर, इट मे बी मतलब आपको सिली लगता होगा मेरे क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज आई एम जीरो इन दिस फील्ड, सो आई फील कि मुझे इसे करेक्ट करना है, मुझे जानना है, इसीलिए आई आस्क्ड यू.
नहीं, इट्स नॉट सिली, आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन. हम अपने बच्चों को स्कूल में भेजते हैं टू लर्न न्यू स्किल्स.
यस.
अगर आपका सिस्टम अच्छा नहीं है, आपको हेल्दी नहीं फील हो रहा है, आपके अंदर तकलीफ है, आप कुछ बच्चे को सिखाने का कोशिश करोगे, बच्चा सीख ही नहीं पाएगा, बिकॉज ही इज नॉट इवन फोकस्ड. हिज ओके. ग्लूटेन एंड केजिन कैन मेक यू एडिक्टेड. अगर आपको एडिक्शन है, जस्ट लाइक एनीबडी ऑन भांग, दे आर स्पेस्ड आउट. उनका फोकस वहां नहीं है जहां होना चाहिए, देयर फोकस समथिंग एल्स. दे आर स्पेस्ड आउट. आप जैसे किसी नशा में होते हो ना, वैसा हो जाता है जस्ट विद ग्लूटेन एंड केजिन. अगर द चाइल्ड इज विद ग्लूटेन केजिंग खा रहा है, दे आर स्पेस्ड आउट एंड यू ट्रेनिंग देम ऑन समथिंग, दे विल नेवर गेट लर्न, दे विल नेवर लर्न दैट. बट as we improve the condition from within, उनका ability to learn will improve. Now उसके बाद आपने क्या सिखाना है वो डिपेंड करता है. For example, you want to learn, you want the child to learn certain behaviors. As a mother, you can yourself train it. You don't need to go to a special school to train those behaviors, right? But that is your, you know, अगर हम अंदर से ठीक कर देंगे, जल्दी से लर्न करने लग जाएंगे. Then you take a call whether you want a special school or special education or these therapies. वो आपका एक decision रहेगा.
So for this 3 months, if I won't go for therapy, then that will be okay.
It's completely okay. जब तक अंदर से ठीक नहीं होगा,
Yes, yes.
no therapy will help them. It's just a waste and it's a trouble for that child actually.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. This is my only query. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sir, Miss Nikki Naz, she has a question. Her child, 8-year-old, he has G6PD deficiency. Would the program be able to help?
See, we cannot fix that deficiency, but I don't think G6PD deficiency can cause such a problem. They have something else. Okay. G6PD is not too, you know, उससे autism नहीं आएगा.
Yeah, can I just elaborate, sir? He is diagnosed with ASD. He's past 6 years we've been going through this procedure of therapies or something. We approached for the ozone therapy, and that was the reason we got to know that he has G6PD. I would like to know, I am very much interested in functional medicine because I thoroughly follow Dr. Mark Hyman and other doctors. And I really appreciate their approach and your guidance for us. So I would like to know if this is not going to disturb the treatment what you are giving. Then I think I can go ahead with this treatment, sir. That was the reason, doctor, I was approaching.
So this will not disturb which treatment, Nikki? I could not get that.
No, the treatment what you will be giving for my son won't harm or make more deficient in his G6PD.
No.
So,
Okay. So what are we going to do again for parents to understand? We will change the environment, which is we as humans should be under that environment. Okay.
Okay.
This is no way can impact in a negative way. It only can give you positive. Then the water has to be structured water if you want to hydrate your system. अगर आपके lubricant नहीं है and you put extra fuel to your car will not still function, right? Similarly, water has a major role to play into our body, and hydration nahi hai to problem hai. We will help your child get hydrated. Then feed the child with a good quality food, जो एक अच्छा health के लिए चाहिए anyways. Then comes the role of the supplementation. Supplements only whatever is missing. After thorough testing, we will see अगर vitamin D है, B complex है. Only vitamin C in a very high dose can trouble in a negative way in this deficiency. But otherwise, no supplementation can be a negative thing. But of course, what we will do is a very precision supplementation. Then comes the role of the probiotics, prebiotics. Will be after assessment of the gut health, after taking this oats test, whatever if the fungal infection, certain bacterial species. We will clean that gut, then feed the good probiotics. So no way you can expect any negative outcomes.
Okay. And one more thing, doctor, is the supplement you'll be giving us from India or from other country?
Right. So we will not use very expensive supplementation, but India may our always approach is to find something which is local. So we most of the time give links from the Amazon. But if a parent want to have those high quality US made supplementation, we can give you those links also.
Okay, doctor. That's great. Thank you so much. We'll look forward for your treatment, doctor. Thank you so much. Bye, doctor.
Please do share your phone number in case you haven't.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Miss Samyak, I think Satyabhama is your name, ma'am. or your husband's name, I suppose. If you're there, you can unmute and ask your question. Others, anyone and everyone who has raised their hand, including Miss Vaishnavi, you were asking me a question a little while back. You can unmute and ask your question, please. There are about 9 people whose hands are raised. Whoever is available, please unmute and ask your question.
हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरा नाम जिशान है और मेरा बच्चा जो है वो 6 साल का है, लेकिन वो अभी तक बात नहीं कर पा रहा। अच्छा, वो जो पैदा हुआ था वो तो प्रीमेच्योर पैदा हुआ था और मैंने पाकिस्तान से हूँ मैं, और मैं अभी अबू धाबी में जॉब कर रहा हूँ। मैंने उसको पाकिस्तान भी भेजा थेरेपी कराने के लिए, सब कुछ किया, और लेकिन वो बोलता नहीं है और उसके बिहेवियर चेंज होते रहते हैं। लेकिन वो कुछ चीजें अब स्टार्ट कर चुका है। वो जैसे वॉशरूम खुद जाता है ले, और कपड़े भी खुद चेंज करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, लेकिन बोल नहीं रहा। आई कांटेक्ट समटाइम उसका अच्छा हुआ था, फिर स्टार्ट अगेन चेंज होने लग गया। मैं ये प्रोग्राम के बारे में जानना चाहता हूँ कि अगर मैं ये प्रोग्राम लेता हूँ तो उससे मुझे कितना फायदा होगा। मेरा बच्चा बोलना शुरू होगा या नहीं होगा, या मुझे थेरेपीज ही लेनी पड़ेंगी?
सर, एक तो मैं इसका थोड़ा सा जवाब दे देता हूँ। ये पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं 1.5-2 महीने के अंदर। तो जो आपका बोलने का सवाल है उसका जवाब है तकरीबन 42, 43, 44% चांस है 1.5-2 महीने के अंदर। बाकी थोड़ा समय और बीतेगा और ट्रीटमेंट और रिकवरी होती रहेगी, तो फिर उस हिसाब से चांसेस जाहिर सी बात है बढ़ते हैं। ये बहुत छोटा समय है 1.5-2 महीने का या 2.5 महीने का समय।
क्योंकि चक्कर ये है कि यार वो मेरा बच्चा जो है वो स्पेसिफिक चीजें खाता है बहुत, लाइक आइसक्रीम उसको पसंद है, व्हीट मतलब पराठा खाता है, चिकन के थोड़े पीसेस खाता है, बहुत स्पेसिफिक चीजें खाता है। और हम उसको अगर देना चाहते हैं तो वो उस पे मुंह बनाता है, स्मेल को महसूस करता है तो छोड़ देता है। अच्छा, हो ये रहा है कि मैं मल्टीपल जगहों पे दिखाया, किसी ने मुझे बोला कि नहीं इसको ऑटिज्म नहीं है, किसी ने बोला ऑटिज्म है, किसी ने बोला आप इसको स्कूल भेज दें, क्योंकि मैं जिस प्लेस में रहता हूँ वो मोस्टली यूरोपियंस रहते हैं और वो इंटरेक्ट नहीं करते। हम लोग घर में ही ज्यादातर रहते हैं और बाहर नहीं निकलते। धूप, क्योंकि अबू धाबी का टेम्परेचर अबव 50 रहता है, तो हम बाहर भी नहीं जाते हैं। एसी में ही, गाड़ी में से एसी में ही रहते हैं, एसी से निकलते हैं, एसी में जाते हैं। तो ये सारे फैक्टर जो मैं भी काफी देर से आपका सुन रहा था, लाइटनिंग और इसकी वजह से, मैं उसको ओमेगा 3 तो देता हूँ और जिंक भी देता हूँ, लेकिन विटामिन डी डेफिनेटली मैंने। सर, मुझे आपकी हेल्प चाहिए। मैं चाहता हूँ मेरा बच्चा बोले, क्योंकि वो जब सम टाइम अपनी बात बताने की कोशिश करता, बता नहीं पाता। तो क्या आप मुझे हेल्प कर सकते हैं इस चीज के लिए? और आपका प्रोग्राम।
हाँ, देखिए 2 चीजें हैं। एक चीज तो है कि अगर कोई ऑर्गेनिक प्रॉब्लम है जिसके चलते बोल नहीं पाता है, तो आई डोंट नो वेदर वी कैन हेल्प और नॉट। बट अगर जनरली बीटा टेस्ट करते हैं वो नेगेटिव आता है, तो मतलब कि ऑर्गेनिक प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। इट इज जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द ऑटिज्म, बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टेन कंडीशंस व्हिच हैज लेड टू दिस सच ए सिचुएशन। ओके, उस केस में 2 चीजें। एक और अभी तक हमने मोस्टली फिजिकल पार्ट का बात किया है। वी टॉक्ड अबाउट फूड, वी टॉक्ड अबाउट gut microbiome toxicities, nutrition, all that. There's another aspect to it which is largely unaddressed, which is एनर्जी बॉडी। जो आपके एनर्जीज हैं, देयर एनर्जी ब्लॉक्स, वो सब भी ठीक होना चाहिए। फिजिकल एंड नॉन फिजिकल बॉडी बोथ हैज टू बी इन सिंक टू हैव अ हेल्दी सिस्टम। वी विल आल्सो हेल्प यू डू सर्टेन थिंग्स ऑन टू दैट, ताकि आपका एनर्जी बॉडी भी हेल्दी हो जाए, जिससे अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ हीलिंग विल बी मच मच मोर।
कि मैंने ईईजी टेस्ट कराया, ब्रेन एमआरआई कराया, डॉक्टर रिपोर्ट भी मेरे पास है। उन्होंने कहा कोई चीज नहीं दिख पा रही, वो कह रहे हैं कि बिल्कुल फाइन है।
वो ऐसा ही बहुत केसेस में ऐसा ही होता है, कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता है। तो उस केसेस में अगर हम लगे रहेंगे, वी स्पेंड इनफ टाइम, वी कैन विन द चांसेस फॉर द चाइल्ड टू स्पीक अगेन।
ओके, तो ठीक है सर। मैं किससे, कोई मुझे कांटेक्ट कर सकता है? मैं इस जो आपका ये
आप अपना नंबर शेयर कर दें जीशान जी, विल रीच।
मैं भी शेयर कर देता हूँ अपना नंबर। आपके यूएई में है कोई बंदा जो कि मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सके? आप किस तरह कांटेक्ट करेंगे?
नहीं, आपके एप्स रहती है ना बॉटम वगैरह उस तरह से,
हाँ,
तो वो
मैं चूंकि व्हाट्सएप ब्लॉक है
वो
और
वगैरह
बॉटम है, टू टॉक है, वो जो
हाँ,
है उसके तो।
वो कोई
तो
इशू
मैं
नहीं है।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, मैं अभी शेयर
सवाल
कर देता हूँ अपना
था
नंबर।
मेरा, जीशन जी, एक सवाल था मेरा आपके लिए।
जी जी
आप
सर।
में दुबई, आबू धाबी वगैरह में ही हैं या पाकिस्तान में?
नहीं नहीं, मैं अबू धाबी में हूँ सर, मैं हूँ
ठीक है,
पाकिस्तान से।
नहीं वो कोई इशू नहीं है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान और इंडिया के बीच में फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस नहीं हो सकते।
या नहीं, मुझे 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 इसका पता है भाई, मैं खुद आईटी इंजीनियर और मैं गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में काम करता हूँ, मुझे मालूम है भाई। इसीलिए, वरना अगर होता तो मैं, अगर पाकिस्तान में होता तो मैं किसी इंडियन दोस्त को कह के पेमेंट कराता।
हाँ ठीक।
मैं समझ सकता हूँ सर, इस चीज को तो बहुत अच्छे तरह समझता हूँ। लेकिन सर मुझे आपकी हेल्प चाहिए होगी प्लीज। मैं चाहता हूँ मेरा बच्चा बोले, क्योंकि मैं उसकी हालत को देख के बहुत परेशान हूँ।
ठीक है जैसे साहब, अगर आप मेहनत करने को तैयार हो तो डेफिनेटली।
सर, सर क्यों नहीं करूंगा, अपने बच्चे को साल में कौन देखना चाहेगा।
आई एग्री सर।
बस आपकी हेल्प चाहिए। मैं अपना नंबर जो हूँ मैं व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में दे दूँ या इधर ही दे दूँ?
यहीं यहीं पे दे दीजिए, मैं आपको व्हाट्सएप पे कनेक्ट कर लूंगा, फिर बॉटम पे बात हो जाएगी।
व्हाट्सएप में मैं आपके ग्रुप में हूँ, मैं इस पे भी मैसेज कर देता हूँ। ठीक है,
बेहतर।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू
जी। सत्यभामा जी, सामयक, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेश्चन। आप पूछना चाह रहे थे बीच में।
Can we go ahead, Vaishnavi? If I'm
Yeah, yeah,
available.
yeah.
Okay, this is Vaishnavi's husband talking here. So, my son name is Rutvik. So he's around 5 years old. So we have not done formal ASD analysis as such, but we are done as developmental assessments on a couple of centers where we are going for speech and OT. So they say that he's under mild and moderate ASD. That's what they say, and is predominantly delayed with speech. So he's non-verbal still. He can just say "ahu" sounds kind of thing, but he's not verbal yet. And we have been doing speech therapy and OTs from last 2 years, but last 1 year has been little on and off because of the COVID. But otherwise, it's 2+ years we have been on therapies, and we have seen just improvements with only receptive language, but not with expressive language. So that is the main problem we are having. So that's where we have. And we got his vitamin D test done last year and this year. Last year he was under deficiency, so we started giving the top ups, meaning whatever it is. Calcidol is what we gave last year, and we tested this year again. He's under insufficiency, but not under deficiency. So he's improved on his vitamin D as well, and with his vitamin B12 also is little low compared to what it was last year. It was around 270 last year. Now it has come down to 100, and we have been on GFCS diet for last 2+ years now. So no sugars, no sweets, no chocolates, nothing. And most of the food also has been cooked at home, and it's made of either groundnut oil or basically or ghee. That's what we have been following. So this is what we have been doing, but we don't see much of an improvement with speech, and that's what our major worry is right now. So just want to understand how you guys can help with
So
on the
one thing,
speech.
one thing you mentioned about his low vitamin D, and you feed him vitamin D supplementation, right? So
Yeah,
vitamin D we get from ultraviolet UV radiation. Okay?
correct. Right.
42 to 45% of the sunlight is red light. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is critically important for our system to work well.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
If we only relying on vitamin D supplementation, it's not a good idea.
Okay.
We
Mm-hmm.
must give our child enough sunlight. For all of us, all humans need enough sunlight.
Okay. The problem is we are in Bangalore, and you know whether in Bangalore, right? Till then, you hardly get sunlight in the mornings.
I am in Bangalore, sir. Enough Bangalore, I can tell you, if we have enough sunlight, if we take that opportunity. Of course, now rainy season is there, but otherwise,
Okay.
enough sunlight throughout the year. We have enough sunlight. Okay. Second
Okay.
is you
So
mentioned
what time? Just sorry to cut you there. And what time you prefer them to take us out? Like, is it the mornings better, evenings better? What does it work well?
So if you have not taken any sunlight, then you go in the morning and evening where the sun is more red, where you have more red light. Then you get accustomed to the red light. Okay.
Okay.
Then you prepare your body to get ultraviolet also. So ultraviolet is also required. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So the daytime, it is when the sun is up. The noon, 12 o'clock, around 1 o'clock is where the maximum ultraviolet is there.
Right.
Now, you don't directly go there. First, you get morning and evening sun where the sun is more red. Then you prepare your system. Then you get okay. You also mentioned about B12
Okay.
being B12 low. First of all, there's a large possibility his gut microbiome is not healthy. Okay. Now, B12 is also produced by the microbiota. If you feed the right prebiotics, right fibers in the diet to the bacteria. Second, B12 can also be low because we are exposed to unnecessary artificial light.
Okay.
So supplementation is okay to support the system, but we also have to create the right conditions so that it does not keep going low all the time.
Right.
Definitely, I think if our program is very, very comprehensive. Okay. You can expect a lot of improvement. And I also mentioned about something on the non-physical part, non-physical energies. Okay. We do something called quantum healing. So that is also one part of the program. So if that can really help the child.
What is that you said? Quantum? I have a lot of background noise coming
quantum
from
healing.
somewhere. Quantum healing. Okay. Is it like a therapy, or is it, what is that? It's basically.
It's more of a distance healing. Just similar to Reiki, let's say. But not Reiki.
Okay. So you said for my son that might work, is what you are predicting. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
You play with coins, but don't put the coins into your mouth, okay? Don't put the coins inside the mouth. It will go in stomach. And it will cause germs.
Thanks for muting here. Okay. That's pretty much I had. But if I want to get more details on your program, we can have one more call with your teammates or whoever and get the understanding of it. How does it work basically?
Everybody who wants better understanding for the right reasons, we would be describing the entire program and the cost and everything. Once all the questions are answered. So please stay tuned.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Right. Thanks. I think there was somebody. Hemaji, you wanted to ask a question?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I'm a special educator.
Yes, ma'am.
For the dyslexia, sir. I would like to know if we give medicine to the ASD and ADHD children, will their brain work so fast or it will go down? Some children will become very dull after giving the medicine. They keep on sleeping. I came across some children like that. Will it affect the child's brains? I don't know. Sorry to interrupt. But I would like to know because I can prescribe more people, those who are benefited in this program. So,
okay. So Hema, we don't give any pharmaceutical drugs to the kids.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, so that's what Ayush has in the beginning mentioned. So there are few today. For most of the parents, either there is a allopathy route, there is a homeopathy route, there's this route, that a few routes are there, and mostly in the allopathy, if any child is hyperactive, okay, they can suppress by using certain pharmaceuticals. They don't fix the problem. They can only suppress. If you take the drug, it will be suppressed. And if you don't take the drug, it will not be suppressed. The problem will come back. Okay. And over a period of time, the imbalance will keep on increasing because there's no attempt to solve the problem. So what we are trying to do is, if hyperactivity has to reduce, because fundamentally something has changed in the body. Okay, there's improvement in the microbiome, there's improvement into the dopamine levels because that is after some time. See, why there's a hyperactivity when you don't have right bacteria? There's unwanted bacteria in the gut. Those guys will produce some chemicals. They will keep the dopamine high. So when we improve the gut bacteria, dopamine will come to normal. So it will not lower down to the level, or it will not be high. It will be managed the way it should be naturally into the system. So that is what we are trying to achieve.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Great. Satyavamaji and others, there are 7-8 people who have their hands raised. Those of you who are there, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Pavan and Satyabrata after that, please.
Hi, sir. Pawan here. I've been listening. Yeah, a couple of questions have already been answered. One thing is, yeah, somebody referred to oats test, and do you rely on oats test? Because from my understanding, oats test take the results take anywhere between 15 days to 4 weeks to arrive.
So when you do the oats test in USA, yes, it will take maybe probably a month also. Okay, but you can still rely on, nothing wrong with the test, because you can see our bodies keep changing, but fundamentally the problem remains the same. That's one. We do the oats test in India and we can get the report within a week's time.
Okay. So, per your experience, they are, if not superior, same standard or comparable, you mean to say?
I don't think that, any, see, we always rely, see, let's understand this part. We only don't rely on the test.
Okay, okay.
There are symptoms reported by the parents, then
Okay.
there is testing done.
Okay.
If I find discrepancies, there's something saying in the symptoms and something else in the report, then I will put both the data points and accordingly make the plan. I don't only rely on the test.
Oh, okay, sir.
But I
Okay.
don't see that our test that is done in India is any inferior to that is done in India. Of course, any use that is done is much elaborate, but here what
Okay.
is done in India is good enough for us to solve the problem.
Start. Okay. And sir, how do you how it is, how functional medicine and biomed, how it is different?
I don't know. I mean, that does not depend on the medicine, the way it is named. But as an individual practitioner, what I do, okay, probably this is a slide by Ayush. So, of course, we do our focus. Biomed is largely on the supplementation. I mentioned first
Okay.
change that we want to make is the right lighting around the child, which is a one critical aspect which has to be done.
Okay.
Then diet and nutrition, which includes the water and the right food. Okay.
Okay.
Then the right detoxification. Then comes the rule of this supplement.
Supplements. Okay. Okay.
Then coming into non-physical part of the life, wherein we can use scalar energy, we can use microcurrent therapy, we can use sound energies, we can use quantum healing. So that's
Okay.
another aspect.
Another aspect. Okay.
We would. Yes.
Okay.
So
My son has been diagnosed with mild autism, but to me, or to be any general person, he is more hyperactive than autism. So that hyperactiveness is stopping him to sit or learn. We are going to therapies also. We have done food intolerance test, all the normal vitamin, hair metal test from ThyroCare. Nothing. I've been giving omega-3. I've been giving him millet porridge morning.
Pawanji, if you have done any testing of fungal or yeast infection, that is one major reason behind hyperactivity.
Yeah, the stool from ThyroCare, I don't know. I don't want to take the test.
For it.
Yeah, or
Good marker is a metabolite test for fungal infection or dysbiosis. Then the lighting, of course. If there's no
yes, sir. We can.
lighting, if your child is always with the phone and the laptop or
No, sir. Long back on, since more than 2 years, not even half an hour from the phone or TV.
Right.
Not even while eating.
That's good. That's good. Then second part, of course, if getting enough sunlight.
Sunlight, yes. Yeah, we have been. If at all the weather permits, every morning 1 hour, every evening 1 hour, he's in the park.
Then fine. So we can definitely evaluate.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Fix the physical part. We also start getting into the non-physical part. Of course, for everybody, non-physical part is little.
Yeah, one last question, sir. Yeah, it's a. So, what does the typical? You talked about supplements, so it's not a generic. But how does the cost of program cost? I have known, but the supplementation cost, yes, it depends on patient, person to person. But is it wise or is it normal to ask to get an average estimate? How does it pan out for these 3 months?
8 to 10,000 for 3 months.
Sorry. 8 to 10,000 per 3 months.
For 3 months.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Satyavrata.
Hello, good evening, sir. My son is 3.5 years old, and actually he is born premature in 29 weeks, and his weight was that time 1150 grams. Even he started working at the age of 1 year and 8 months. उसका टीथ भी आया लगभग 1 साल में, थोड़ा लेट सब चल रहा है। और अभी क्या है, अभी अगर किसी और बच्चे का अगर मैंने रोना सुनता है तो खुद रोने लगता है, किसी का भी टोन भी सुनता है तो। और यही थोड़ा वरीड है, और वो बोल भी नहीं पाता है ठीक से, वो बोल नहीं पा रहा है कुछ। मैंने इधर उधर कुछ तो बोलता जाता है, लेकिन वो कुछ एक्सप्रेसिव कुछ होता नहीं है। तो मुझे क्या आप कर सकते हैं?
सर आई थिंक सत्या जी डेफिनेटली वी कैन हेल्प आपके बच्चे को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए। ओके, तो प्रोसेस रिमेन द सेम, वही जो मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूँ कि उनका डाइट चेंज करना है, उनका राइट इन्वायरमेंट करना है, वो सब चीजें हैं। इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर अ पेरेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड इन डिटेल कि ऐसा करना क्यों है। दैट्स वन एस्पेक्ट भी हम उसके ऊपर बहुत फोकस करते हैं। वी विल एजुकेट द पेरेंट सो मच, आपको नीटी ग्रिटी में समझ आएगा कि ये चीज खराब क्यों है, ये चीज अच्छी क्यों है, आपको ये क्यों करना है, क्यों नहीं करना है। एंड व्हेन यू
अभी भी वो अंडर वेट है सर, अंडर वेट रहता है अभी। 3.5 years हो गया, 12.5 किलो है, 12.5 kg है अभी।
हाँ जी, अंडरवेट का मतलब यही होगा कि उनका डाइजेशन अच्छा नहीं है, जो भी वो खाना खाते हैं उनको लगता नहीं है।
यस सर,
और
यस सर।
उसका मतलब ये हो सकता है कि उनके स्टमक में अच्छा माइक्रोबायोटा नहीं है।
ओके सर।
है ना,
और हमें तो दिन भर घूमता रहता है, माने एक जगह वो माने शांति से भी बैठता भी नहीं है, तो दिन भर
this is low attention and hyperactivity, right? They keep jumping around.
ओके, यस यस सर, यस सर।
वो ठीक हो जाएगा सर, वो ठीक हो सकता है।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
सम्यक जी, सत्यभामा जी, आपका जो नाम है, प्लीज आप अनम्यूट करके सवाल पूछ सकते हैं अपना। आपने अपना वीडियो ऑफ कर दिया। आप सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, मेरी पहले भी आपसे।
हेलो।
हाँ अमन, प्लीज गो।
नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार, सवाल पूछें अपना।
सर मेरा ये सवाल है, मेरा बेटा है सर, 22 साल का है। हेलो सर, सुन पा रहे हैं आप मुझे?
बिल्कुल अच्छे से बताएं।
जी सर, तो उसको सर ऑटिज्म नहीं है, उसको सर डाउन सिंड्रोम की प्रॉब्लम है सर। ठीक है, तो मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि जो आपकी ये मेडिसिन है, क्या ये डाउन सिंड्रोम में सर ये सप्लीमेंट के रूप में काम करेगी? उसको मतलब ब्रेन में उसको हेल्प मिलेगी उसको?
ओके, हाँ जी अमन जी, प्रॉब्ली वी कैन नॉट सॉल्व द डाउन सिंड्रोम, लेकिन उसको इम्प्रूवमेंट डेफिनेटली कर सकते हैं। जैसे ऑटिज्म का केस है, हम कह रहे हैं कि 85% चांसेस रहते हैं कि बच्चा बिल्कुल नॉर्मल हो जाए, लेकिन आई कैन नॉट डाउन सिंड्रोम, लेकिन डेफिनेटली इम्प्रूवमेंट जरूर आएगा।
तो सर ये आपका सप्लीमेंट है सर, ये हमें कहाँ से असर प्रोवाइड होगा?
ये ऑनलाइन सर जैसी वेबसाइट से मिल जाएगा।
तो सर ये उसमें भी उतना वर्क करेगा जितना आम उससे करता है, ऑटिज्म से करता है, या अलग अलग बच्चों के केस में अलग अलग सिस्टम होता है इसका?
देखिए अमन जी, सप्लीमेंटेशन इज अ थर्ड प्रायोरिटी, इट्स नॉट अ फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी। पहली चीज। दूसरा चीज है कि अलग अलग बच्चे में अलग अलग सीवियरिटी ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम रहता है, और उसके हिसाब से इम्प्रूवमेंट का जो उनका रहता है, किसी में जल्दी आता है, किसी में स्लो आता है, किसी में कम आता है, किसी में ज्यादा आता है। दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द सीवियरिटी ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम आल्सो। ओके, सो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आई एम टेलिंग कि भाई डाउन सिंड्रोम को वी कैन नॉट एलिमिनेट, उनका फंक्शनिंग इंप्रूव करना है फॉर श्योर।
तो फंक्शनिंग को इम्प्रूव कर लिए सर, आपके पास तो मेडिसिन बताया आपने, और सर क्या प्रोसीजर है?
वही है सर जो हमने बताया है कि उनका खाना अच्छा अगर एक समझिए की बात को, अगर आपने कोई गाड़ी खरीदा, फॉर एग्जाम्पल उसके इंजन में थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन आपने उसमें अच्छा फ्यूल डालने शुरू कर दीजिए, अच्छा इंजन ऑयल डाल दीजिए, हो सकता है परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा हो जाएगा आपकी कार का।
जी सर।
वही हम कर रहे हैं। हम कोई मेडिसिन नहीं देंगे, वो एक समझने की चीज है। हम कोई फार्मास्यूटिकल ड्रग नहीं देंगे, हम बस करेक्शंस करेंगे जो चीजें इंप्रूव करने की हैं आपके बच्चे के सिस्टम में।
जी, तो सर इसका लिंक प्लीज आप व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है जो उसमें डाल दीजिएगा मेडिसिन के लिए,
व्हाट्सएप में रहेगा
सप्लीमेंट्स आपने। ओके सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
में सारी जानकारी आएगी प्रोग्राम। बलराम जी, अपराजिता, सुमा, please unmute and ask your questions, please.
Sir, actually, my question is not. I'm a special educator. So yeah, so I just want to know that how this program will benefit special educators.
So there are three things in the program.
Okay.
There are three things. Maybe कहाँ से feedback? Okay, so there are three things in the program which an educator would be able to benefit from. There are 8 sessions, 8 classes, 4 of which are fixed and 4 are topical in nature. Topics educators or parents सब मिलके decide करते हैं. So the education is not just the theory, but it's also how you implement. So you'll get those tools and you'll get the theoretical understanding of why and what not. So that's one. Second is you get to be part of the same WhatsApp group in which the practitioners, Dr. Ashwini, support team, they are there, as well as both the other side, which is parents, they are also there. So it becomes like a mini internship of sorts. You get to see both sides of the coin. And the third thing is you do have access to Dr. Ashwini's support team and so on. And you can bounce off an idea, discuss certain things and so on once in a while or howsoever you wish. So they are available on WhatsApp and phone call. So that is also something which is there.
So definitely your skill set, Aparjita, will improve to solve your clients. I don't like to call them patients because it has become a very negative.
Right.
अपने जो आपके बच्चे हैं और better तरीके से help कर सकोगे with this new information that you can attain from the program.
Right. Aparajita, there was a lot of disturbance, so I had to mute. I hope your question is answered.
Sir, I'm Srilalita. One thing I just want
Go ahead, ma'am.
to ask, like these children, sometimes they behave like a very matured one, and their intellectual are more than 15 or 16 years old, even in the 10 years old. But sometimes he really behave like a small child, like 2 or 3 years. Is that there in everyone, or some special thing we need to address?
No, that's there with everyone. My brother is autistic, by the way. So that's one of the big reasons why we started this program, and we wanted Dr. Ashwini to lead it. So this is there. I mean, autistic people, they are gifted in one way or the other. Some people are able to understand what they are gifted in and harness it, while others, we are not able to identify that thing. But then they are super intelligent. So many of the leading historical figures, such as they have some element of learning disability, whether it is let's say Einstein or Newton for that matter, or Leonardo da Vinci and so on. So Picasso, ये सारे लोगों में कहीं ना कहीं learning disability थी, elements of autism and so on. So that is something which is there, man.
Thank you.
Right. So बहुत लोगों ने आर्किमिडीज की शायद स्टोरी सुनी होगी कि so when he discovered what he wanted to discover, which was surface tension of liquids, he ran outside on the streets naked, celebrating it. So he is also one example. So that's a very famous story. Anyways, Mr. Balaram, Ms. Soma, you have a question?
I have answered the questions. Can I take a leave?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So, any of the questions that you may have remaining, आप लोग अपने phone numbers छोड़ सकते हैं. and we'll reach out to you. Now, I'll just describe the program once more. Many of you had that question. Just give me a second here. So, what does the program look like and all of that? See, basically, the program is based on 3 pillars. Personalization basis diagnosis. Second is education. Third is support. So, ये तीनों चीजें रहती हैं in 16,000. So, trying to understand money and how the program breaks up. I think mainly question यही था लोगों का. So, what you get in 16,000 is access to Dr. Ashwini and the entire support team for 3 months to get your personalization and diagnosis done and treatment done, all that support, educational classes to help you get all of these things implemented. So 8 classes are there. And plus there is a support mechanism from the entire team. Dietitian support alag hai, ye sari cheezein hain. All of that is there. That's 3 parts basically. These two, one and two combined, second and third. So all of that is there. The third thing, or rather the fourth thing would be, there are several things which we won't describe generally in an open session, but there are a lot of things which many a times children require. So try and understand this is a deeply personal project for all of us. So we are trying to help children to the best of our abilities, Dr. Ashwini included. So there are so many things which we don't mention being a part of the project or part of the entire program, etc. But they are given if required for the children. So there are different kinds of internal therapies. We don't practice external therapies. आपके पास में बहुत सारी help है in and around, and you probably have been doing it. They're not very useful. External therapies, to a very large extent, they don't cure. They help you manage and correct certain things. So those certain things, small little elements, sometimes they appear very large. So yes, they are helpful in many ways, but could be light therapy. They could be scalar, quantum energy, scalar energy, microcurrent therapy. All of these could be done either remotely, or we will teach you what you need to do it on your own, at your own home. So ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं which are also part of the program, which are not charged to you separately, but we don't declare it upfront. If it's required by your child, then we'll go ahead and do that. But tests is something which is completely personalized, so they are not included. And again, medicine is also completely, or rather supplements are also personalized. They are also not included within the program fee. So I hope that answers the question. There are a few people mentioning something in the chat. Right. Miss Suma, you still have your hands raised. Do you have any question? I hope your questions are answered, Suma ji. So give me a thumbs up or something, yes or no, so that I understand you are answered.
Sir, just one last thing. Like I have a few of my parents. So can I just refer them this program if they would like to get connected to it for their children?
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll share this recording on WhatsApp. I hope you are a part of a WhatsApp group.
Yes.
So, so please go ahead and use that share. All that information which comes in the group, and you can go ahead and share. I mean, we would love as many people as they can benefit, the better it is.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. सत्यभामा जी, सम्यक जी, मैं फिर से आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, आपको सवाल पूछना है तो पूछ लें, क्योंकि मैं आपको 5-6 बार कॉल कर चुका हूँ. आप के हस्बैंड अवेलेबल नहीं होते हैं और उनके मन में सवाल हैं, तो पूछना चाहते हो तो आप प्लीज पूछ लो. दिस इज, अगर आपको कोई झिझक है तो आप, बहुत ज्यादा लोग हैं नहीं सेशन में, आप पूछ सकते हो. आपका वीडियो ऑन है, लाल बटन दबाना है अनम्यूट करने के लिए. आप कुछ बोल रहे हो सत्यभामा जी, आप कुछ बोल रहे हो, लाल बटन दबाओ तब आवाज आएगी. Okay. Others, do you have any question? There are still some 25-30 odd people. हाँ, सवाल पूछ सकते हैं आप. वो लाल बटन दबा के अनम्यूट करो. और म्यूट पे हो, हाँ दबाओ. Okay, there is nothing else
Hello?
which is there. हाँ जी,
हेलो
हाँ जी बोले।
हेलो आ रही सर सुनाई आवाज?
हाँ, मैं आयुष हूँ, बताएं।
हाँ सर, मेरा बेटा जो है 5 साल का है, तो उसका जो स्पीच डिले हो गया है और हाइपर मतलब बहुत हाइपर एक्टिविटी है। तो सर उसको मैंने मुंबई में उसके ब्रेन में स्टेम सेल मतलब वो जो थेरेपी होती है स्टेम सेल डलवाया था। तो वहां से जब लेके आया तो उसको काफी अंडरस्टैंडिंग मतलब समझदारी आ गई। लेकिन स्पीच डिले है और भूल जाता है, जैसे सीखता है कुछ तो भूल जाता है और बहुत हाइपर है और दौड़ से भागता है, एक जगह बैठता है। जिसको सिखाना है तो वो एक जगह पे बैठता ही नहीं बिल्कुल, और उसका जो डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम है वो भी ठीक नहीं है।
डाइजेस्टिव
सब चीजें
सिस्टम
हैं
में
सर
पूरी
उसके
काम।
साथ।
देखिए, हाइपर एक्टिविटी होती है तो कई बारी फंगल डिसबायोसिस होती है, यानी फंगल ओवरग्रोथ। डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के ऊपर जांच करेंगे तो उसके बारे में पता चलेगा, और उसको रिजोल्यूशन करना तो ये तो है ही हमारे प्रोग्राम में। ये सारी चीजों से निजात पाएंगे। अब
जी
आप
जी
5-6 लाख रुपए आपने स्टेम सेल थेरेपी पे खर्च किया है, जो सही नहीं था स्टेप। किस्मत है आपकी कि आप उस कैटेगरी में हैं जहाँ पे आपको फायदा हुआ है। अमूमन 10-12-15% लोगों से अधिक को फायदा नहीं होता है, क्योंकि ये कोई प्रोवन मेथोलॉजी नहीं है। ये कोई प्रोवन मेथोलॉजी नहीं है। ये एक बेसिकली चांस है। कभी पासा बैठता है, कभी नहीं बैठता है। साइंटिफिक नहीं है बहुत ज्यादा।
सर, तो क्या मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था सर कि जैसे आपका जो ये 3 माह का जो कोर्स है उसमें मेरा बच्चा ठीक हो जाएगा?
चांसेस हैं, आपको कोशिश तो करनी पड़ेगी ना, बच्चे के लिए करिएगा नहीं।
जी
आपने
सर।
जब इतना खर्चा किया है तो ये
हाँ
कोशिश तो उसके उसके मुकाबले नेचुरल है और सेफ है।
जी जी।
स्टेम सेल इज नॉट सेफ।
हेलो।
जी मैम।
हाँ सर, मैं पूछना चाह रही थी, जैसे उसका ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है इससे पहले, हाँ, तो
आवाज कट रही है आपकी, आपको पास आना पड़ेगा, नेटवर्क सही नहीं है।
हेलो।
हाँ जी।
हेलो।
हाँ जी।
वो
आप उनके बिहाफ पे पूछ लें, उनकी आवाज नहीं आ पा रही।
स्टेम सेल जैसे हमने डलवाए हैं सर, तो जो आपके यहाँ का ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे तो साइड इफेक्ट?
दोनों का कोई इंटरफेरेंस नहीं है। स्टेम सेल से जो होना था हो चुका है, और जो